And now's the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there. And we gotta lead it.
True internet suffered depression.
You are fake news.
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Hello, and welcome to episode 280 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I'm Jeffrey.
I'm Brian.
Well, just you guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. I still got a little bit of a laugh listening to that intro music because it is old.
Mm-hmm.
They got like Jen Psaki is in it, and she was what, like 4 press secretaries ago or something?
At
3?
least. Yeah, something like that, definitely.
And then the Jussi Smollett thing. He was like the first famous hoax hate guy.
Yeah.
Making up his fake hate crimes.
In Chicago.
Yeah, I know. This is MAGA country in Chicago. It's like, has anyone ever been to Chicago? Boy, it's been ruled by Democrats for something like 60 years or something. Well, anyway.
Yep.
So, speaking of the Democrats and the decisions they make, they've been trying to blame Trump for these plane crashes lately. I'm sure you've noticed that, right?
Yeah. They're trying to blame Trump for everything.
Yes, and we definitely talked about this several times. Like, how is this possibly, like, the day Trump shows up into office, they're saying shit like, oh, it's your fault for the policies. Like, they haven't gone into place yet.
Right. And he
Well,
brought that up a couple of times, but they're just looking for something that will stick to them. First it was planes, now it's planes. Then they were complaining about egg prices. They were complaining about the tariffs.
They're talking about egg prices now too. They're saying it's an all-time high. I'm like, I don't think so.
They're
Maybe,
coming
but
down. Wholesale eggs are coming down in price. So,
yeah. Well, anyway, with this plane thing, the data came out, and they're at least no higher than before, and are most likely fewer plane crashes and helicopter wrecks than we saw under Biden.
When you dug into the actual data, that's what I liked about this article. Was it's like it's been in the news more lately because who knows why, but
just like these fake hate crimes
down.
Just like these fake hate crimes we keep talking about, the supply for hate far underreaches the demand for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the stuff's just not happening, but they have to push something because they got nothing else.
Right. They're looking for something they can throw at them and it'll stick.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why they call him Teflon Don, right?
Yeah. I mean, they thought taking him to a trial in New York was going to keep him from getting the Republican nomination.
And it backfired.
Well, yeah. How many states tried to keep him off the ticket altogether?
4 or 5.
Like 4. I thought it was like 34, but maybe.
No, I don't think it was. Not all. There's not 34 Democrat controlled states in the union.
But you don't need the states to be Democrat controlled. You just need 1 or 2 people in charge of something to say you're not eligible because of the Insurrection Act.
Yeah, so one of the DAs was doing that for a while. I forgot which one was it.
Maybe New York Attorney Leticia James.
She's in here. Don't worry about that.
No, one of the DAs a while ago was trying to hold up Trump because of the Insurrection Act. Yeah.
Colorado definitely tried to keep him off the ticket, and so did Maine.
Yeah. And New York and California. So there's the 4 big blue states.
Yeah. Well, back to Leticia. Thanks for bringing her up, Brian. Excellent move there.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
Yeah. She's getting hit with allegations of mortgage fraud.
Well, you could have put this in local, too.
I could have put it in local, but I wanted to go follow up because we didn't have enough in there, honestly.
Oh, you could have bridged it to a local and international.
Unfortunately, we usually do intro between follow up and local.
Yeah.
And it's one thing.
Apparently, little did we know that she actually owns property here in Virginia.
Yeah, Norfolk, and that was where she lied about the home to get a more
favorable.
Yeah, she said it was her primary residence. When it's your primary residence, the interest rate's a lot lower. It can be a lot lower.
But if she's a primary resident of Norfolk, Virginia, she can't be the
Attorney General of New York, right?
Or she's trying to do tax evasion because.
But she's already come out and said this is all because she went after Trump.
How she claimed the house is smaller than it is too.
Well, I like how she married her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. Just like My
Yeah,
God, who's the one who married her brother?
Leticia, no, Leticia
Oh,
James.
that was Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
Was it? I thought it was
Leticia Kali. What's the name? Fuck.
Yeah,
Talib,
Talib.
Rashida Talib.
Yeah,
Leticia Kali.
she's still in the House of Representatives, isn't she?
Yeah.
I believe so. But it's funny because that's what James was bringing Trump on was mortgage fraud.
Yeah,
And what she fined him something like $500 million almost.
right. And she said at her press conference today or yesterday or whenever this came out that the money's still in escrow and it's building up interest for the state of New York every day that the trial is being appealed. So
That's that you can't do that, by the way. Like if it's in an appeal, you can't just keep charging people interest on not
well,
paying it
that's
yet.
exactly what she said in her press conference, where she didn't, you know,
Cruel and
she didn't do
unusual
anything
punishment.
wrong. She didn't put her people are right wingers are harassing her relatives and all these other houses, also
Oh,
known as the Daily Caller.
no, yeah. It's fascinating because I mean, has your average person read Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky?
I don't. I highly doubt it.
Have either of you read it?
No, but I know the basis of it. Some of
Yeah,
the
me
stuff.
too.
Hillary Clinton pushed it heavy when she was
Mhm.
running for office. But if you read it, it's Rules for Radicals is like how to cheat and get away with this stuff. One of the chief tenets is accuse your enemy of what you are doing, so you draw attention off of you and make them look bad.
Yeah, projecting.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we keep seeing going over and over and over. Or how to cheat an election.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
here's an interesting thing. I don't necessarily disagree with it, but I'm not sure what I think. But apparently the Republicans are looking to strip the IRS of their guns and ammo.
And they should be.
Why?
We don't need. I mean, there's plenty of other armed branches of the government that can handle the IRS's enforcement. You know, what's going to be their primary position? Is they going to be doing tax audits or assisting customer service, and then they just throw in a gun part-time and go out and arrest the bad guys?
Oh, it wouldn't be part-time. They have their own law
It's
enforcement.
not. They don't need their own law enforcement. That's another waste, fraud, and abuse of the government. Every agency, every most places don't need their own army of police people.
I don't necessarily disagree, but the USPS has their own law enforcement branch.
They're not armed.
I don't know. Are they? I honestly don't
No, the
know.
inspector general doesn't walk around with a weapon on their hip.
I mean, okay,
Suppose-
possibly. I don't know. But you're right, though. The IRS could easily call up the FBI to go enforce tax evasion, right?
Yes.
Get arrested because you put the wrong stamp on it. Call the general.
Well, no, it's usually
Well, when you steal other people's checks and cash out of their Christmas cards,
Yeah, you call the
That's
FBI.
mail
It's a federal
fraud.
offense. That's why you got the FBI, don't you?
Well, no, the USPS actually has their own law enforcement. I only know this. We mentioned this, I think, last week when I had Mercury mailed to me. They called me to talk to me about the Mercury bottle that busted open in
Did they show up in
Norfolk,
shorts
Virginia.
too?
Huh?
They show up in short mailman uniform.
Actually, they never showed up. They just
there
kept
is no
calling me.
mailman uniform anymore. They got
I
rid of
know. Well, this is back in the day. That's what I'm talking about.
that. Yeah.
Actually, it's crazy. They called my mom.
Hmm.
I hadn't been in Massachusetts for like 10 years at the time. They're calling my mom to get in touch with me. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean?
Mm.
All right. This year, I just came across this 20 minutes before this show, the airing of a recording of the show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine from back up north shared a thing online. So Guapo, I clicked on it. Then I opened the link to the news article instead of sharing the Facebook picture.
I was just saw it like, oh shoot, I don't got time to look for it, so I just
That's
seen
all
it.
right.
So
That's
we
all right.
can look for it later. Yeah.
I already did it. I clicked on it. Then it was the top story comment. But anyway, this is different. There's an online concern growing about a possible serial killer in New England. Since March, which is what, last month,
Mm-hmm.
6 bodies have been found in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, That's all within like a 3-hour drive of one certain place, like the Boston area. Um, and like one of these boys hasn't even been identified yet.
Wow.
Yeah, when was the last time you heard about a serial killer in general?
Not very
And
often.
and something I mentioned to the wife, because she's like, "Well, that's 3 states." I was like, "Yeah, those 3 states combined aren't even half of West Virginia." you know. But yeah, one of them was found in Groton, Connecticut. I'm assuming probably near the sub base, right?
Yeah, New Haven, Roster, Plymouth.
At Plymouth.
Yeah, some of the places. But
Yeah,
this person Boyle says just because you have bodies found in buried places in New England does not mean there's a serial killer on the loose
Of
in the
course.
area.
very true. But what do they have similar MOs? And they all popped up around the same time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what's going on?
Well, it led online sleuths to say, "Hey, what's going on?" And now at least
Oh,
one FBI guy is going like, "Hey, maybe what is going on here?" You know,
yeah. Oh, it could be a gang member that just the way they kill people.
exactly
Could
for
be,
all we know, this is MS-13.
or is it Columbia neckties on them? Is it
That's
Trenderawa?
that's what's getting me, dude. Is these freaking exactly this trend of Aragua and the MS-13 guys, man. They're doing the Colombian neckties. And for anyone who isn't familiar with that term, because it's an old one, you slit their throat and then you pull their tongue out their throat and hang it down like a necktie.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, disgusting thing to do to somebody.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, and it
geez,
sucks because New England is like gun restrictions are crazy as hell now.
from New England's turned into shit, dude. I got out of the area just in time. The taxes are out of control. There,
Hmm.
Massachusetts is one of the top 3 states for unemployment fraud, which
We
again,
had that in
Massachusetts is.
we had that on another show.
Yes, we did, and it's which is funny because I hadn't read that article yet. You're like, just guess the top 3, and I said, "Oh, well, Massachusetts must be on the list, or you wouldn't have brought it up." It's like California's obviously on the list. Let me guess, New York. You're like, holy shit, that's all 3 of them.
All blue states. Surprise,
Yeah,
surprise.
but yeah, they keep doing this stuff, and then I got these hardcore lefties up there talking trash to me left and right. I'm like, do you have any idea what's going on? It's like, do you realize you're paying more state tax than your federal tax?
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Uh,
They don't care.
yeah, and then they're like, oh, that's normal. Like, it's not. Not unless you're making a ton of money anyway. All right. So, what were these plans the White House had for this extraordinary Holy Week
Well, they're
observance?
doing like they had like a prayer service. They're doing like daily talks on True Social.
Okay.
Um, it's just a lot more elaborate than the previous Catholic president did for Easter.
Yeah, Trump's not Catholic, right?
No, he's Christian.
Yeah. Oh, you say Christian like the Catholics aren't Christian, but
Some are, some aren't.
correct. All Catholics are Christian. Not all Christians are Catholic, right? Anyone who doesn't know the difference, typically speaking, your Catholic is a little more Orthodox, practicing Catholic anyway. But I can't even find a Catholic mass, a Latin mass anymore. Like I grew up doing mass in Latin.
Greek Orthodox, or they're doing Greek?
They might, I don't know.
Mm.
It's interesting you bring that up though, because I almost did a 3-day fast over the death and resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. Decided not to because I was just concerned about health issues with my sleep schedule lately. Uh, but the reason I was going to do it this time is because this is the first time in like 60 or 80 years that the Catholics and the Orthodox Christians agreed on when Easter was.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize it had been that long.
I thought it was just because of the wafer.
Remember, there's a couple different Orthodox groups. Like the Greek Orthodox have their own pope, though, right?
I think every church got their own. No, it's not a pope, but the head of the church of that in this area. It's like a cardinal, basically.
Oh yeah, but that's in
Yeah,
the
they got
Catholic. I
like
say the Greek.
cardinals, basically, but they don't got pope.
I'm pretty sure the Greek Orthodox have their own pope.
Mm.
Speaking of, by the way, my bishop came to my church, a week or so ago.
Uh,
Oh, that's pretty cool. You don't get to meet the bishop very often. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Which I don't know how well you are versed in the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, Brian, but that's way up there.
Yep.
A little bit below the cardinal.
Yeah, well, I addressed him as Your Excellency,
Mhm.
which he was pretty excited about because apparently nobody remembers that or learned that in CCD
Cool.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just glad you didn't call me Your Holiness. You're not the Pope, sir."
I know more than your average Catholic.
I was like, I may be a bad Catholic, but I still remember. I still remember getting my wrist smacked with a ruler as a kid. Oh man. Okay,
I'll also
so
remember last year that the most important proclamation that President Biden put out was the proclamation on the Transgender Day of Visibility.
that overlapped Easter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why would you do it at the same time?
I'm pretty sure there is no Transgender Day of Visibility this year.
Well, if you're
Or
gonna
there
do it,
could
why
be,
wouldn't
but yes, exactly. Do it
do it
on
under
a
Pride Month, right?
yeah, that belongs in June.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do stuff, you put aside an entire dang month. Do it then, right? And Puerto Rico, I guess, had an island-wide blackout that's looking like it might go through the entire weekend.
Yep. And
They have no idea what happened.
and Puerto Rico is like 90% Catholic.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because we keep hearing
So
how
they're
much the
big
left.
on Easter weekend. It's
Yes.
one of their high holy weeks,
Well, we keep hearing the Democrats say how much they don't come out and say we hate Christians, but they may as well, right?
Right.
And then you look at the black and the Hispanic population of this nation that they claim to champion are so Christian, and not just Christian, especially your Hispanic population. It's very Catholic, like rigid Christianity.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you claim to be the protecting these folks and taking care of them because everyone else hates them? As you say, you're not allowed to do whatever. We're going to put Trans Day of Visibility over Easter. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And all they had to wait was like one more day, and it would have been in June, which is the Pride Month.
yes. By the way, you do know that July is MAGA month, right?
What?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, yes, it
Well, I
is.
could understand why. It's my birthday month, so
There you go. And we're going to get into this a little bit later. And I'm going to explain to you why it's going to be an excellent mega month this year when we get down into some shit that's going on.
all right.
Uh, I came across this study and I was very, oh, I shouldn't say surprised, but because it was a 10-year study where they actually did a study that these
Uh-huh.
ADH drugs they've been giving kids,
Right.
um, it's stunting growth. And at first they said, oh, they'll grow back when they get through a little bit older. You know what I mean? They'll get that height back. And on average, your average person who took ADH drugs, even for a couple of years and then stopped, is an inch shorter than people that did not take these drugs.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah. And which takes 10 years to find some of these studies to get
Right.
some of this information. And we went and rushed through COVID shots. And I'm going to blame Trump for that with his Operation Warp Speed. Let's just go ahead and pump the drugs out. Anyway, on to our local segment here. Turkey hunting is coming back to West Virginia. It has not been in place for a couple of years due to a dwindling turkey population, which I'm surprised it's coming back already because I've only seen like 5 turkeys since I moved here. And in Massachusetts, I had to stop my car and wait for 20 of them to cross the road at a time. But apparently they think there's enough out in the wild, which I mean, I'm in the woods, but sure.
Are you getting your turkey license?
I'm talking about getting a outdoor sportsman license, which gives me hunting for everything up to and including bears and fishing.
Okay.
So it's
Do you
one
get that
license
for
to handle.
free? Do you get that for free being a veteran?
No, but it is very, very affordable anyway.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there's a hunter's education course you have to take the first time getting a hunting license here. But someone informed me that I might be exempt from that, and not because of my DD 214, but because I was
Cool.
born before it was put into place.
Right. I took it when I was in high school.
Even Massachusetts said you can go hunting now. you don't need a special class because you were in the service. You know how to handle a firearm properly, you know?
Mhm.
And if Massachusetts says we trust you to handle a gun, you think everyone else would handle that person, trust him, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and check this out. We had a construction worker filling in potholes on the turnpike here in West Virginia who got hit by a semi.
Somebody wasn't paying attention.
Oh man, what a terrible way to die.
Did he live?
No, he died. They said he died shortly after arriving at the hospital, but the only reason I think it's saying that is because it took that long for a doctor to
Hmm.
announce time of death. They don't say DOA anymore. Have you noticed?
No, I haven't noticed.
All right. When was the last time you heard dead on arrival?
It's been a while.
Yeah, you need an actual. You're not dead when you show up anymore. You're not dead until a doctor says you're dead.
Mm.
So I think that's the reason why they said he was dead. Shortly after getting to the hospital, because I'm pretty sure he didn't survive getting hit by a semi going 60 miles an hour.
I guess that just because of the liability, like, how do you know it was that? Well, doctor said it was that.
I know, but you think the doctor, when you show up, you're like, oh no, he was dead before he got here, not time of death now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just, I guess there was something happened. They had to come out with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It is what it is.
What's going on over there in Virginia, especially the Hampton area?
Yeah.
You guys are having some crazy shit going on
This
over
is
there.
actually a condo village area that my pastor and his wife live in.
Oh, wow.
They lived in the building next to this building that was totally destroyed by fire on Friday afternoon.
Partial collapse, 4 injured, huh?
Yeah, 2 of them were firefighters. The other 2 were they had to be rescued. Well, one of them had smoke inhalation.
That's his own fault then. Let's be real.
Or maybe no, it was overheating, heat exhaustion. He was treated for heat exhaustion because it's fairly warm and all that gear. And
fairly warm.
This complex.
It wasn't the oven that he was getting in.
Yeah, this complex was built in 1986, so it didn't have firewalls, didn't have sprinkler systems, and the road was so narrow to the gated community that they couldn't even take in as many fire trucks as they wanted because some of them just wouldn't fit through the gate.
Dude, okay.
Oh my God.
This is knowing about this. I deliver building supplies, and southern roads around here is like, if I can make it, what make you think a fire truck can make it through?
Right.
Especially the box more like it is annoying, honestly, and they need to widen up the roads.
Well, and you drive a semi or a box truck? Guapo?
Box truck, but it got 16 wheels.
Okay, well, I was gonna say a semi at least has a hinge point in the truck. You know what I mean?
Yes, but this is
the fire trucks don't.
Yeah. They don't, and I'm tired, dude. Why you guys want to build it here? Honestly, you need to widen out the road. It should be a code. Like, you want to build, you have to widen out the road.
Well, this road was built, in the 80s.
Yeah, and then this is like center town too. They want to build like structures like columns around the entrance. Like, why? You want a fire truck to come in and knock up your towers and stuff?
Well, I mean, even like you said, it was built 40 years ago, but they still could update stuff. You know what I mean? And now Virginia, Virginia, or at least Hampton, is going to pass a law mandating stuff, and it's going to cost the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars.
Well, they've already got laws in place, but it wasn't. It was grandfathered in because it was built before the building codes went.
Well, you know what? Now,
so you're exempt from fires because you're old.
You know what? Let them. You know what? They're gonna learn the lesson hard way.
Yeah,
and you know what?
Children might die.
With their fucking mistake, it's gonna create more jobs. I got a job probably soon, delivered today.
No, it will create jobs, but the problem is it's coming out of the taxpayer's pocket.
No, it should be. You want to construct this, you have to comply with these rules now.
Actually, you know what? If it's a gated community and it's a private community, it might not be up to the taxpayers to fix that. It might be up to that gated community.
Yeah, like, why this is what happened. How you learn your lesson? Yes or no? And you still want to grandfather in.
Well, at least nobody died, right?
Nope, nobody died.
I saw the fire good. In the morning, like, damn, like a cart. I thought it was a truck because I could see it. Like, no, this coming.
It's literally like, if there weren't trees in the way, you could see it from my house.
I saw it from like Hampton, Suffolk, 664, and the horizon. I saw the smoke.
Jeez Louise. So it was over by Well,
over by Hardee's.
Oh,
like the road that instead of It's road, and you go to Hardee's, you go the opposite way, and that's the road back into the complex.
Damn. Well, I'm
So
glad no one died, and
yeah,
like hopefully Guapo's right, and they did learn a lesson. You know what I mean?
hopefully. But I saw they had riots. Like, okay, they said a fire or something. Like I was listening to the radio because I listened to traffic
Mhm.
to see if I had to cut somewhere or avoid that area. Nothing until later on I saw on Facebook like, hey, fire happened in Hampton. Like, oh, that's what it was.
Well, here's an idea, Guapo. How about you
Mm.
and I get together and design a new fire truck? We put a hinge point in the center of the truck in the middle, but check this out. We have two drivers. One guy actually like drives the vehicle, but you have a steering wheel in the back to steer the rear end to make it easier to go around corners.
I got something better, but I'll talk to you about in private.
Oh, okay, so we might actually make some money on some crazy idea like this.
And it's not a truck, so I was thinking about it, like, like this location. We'll talk about it later.
All right, just have set it up
You
like
got
a
to
Navy. And just,
remember it.
all right.
And Ray shared this one. I don't care. I
Yeah,
already
What?
pay a boat tax in Hampton, so
Oh no, this is okay. This tax is stupid because it's just gonna drive away people with money. You think the
well,
people?
did you read the whole article or just the first paragraph?
No, I heard
it's
this on
not these. We're talking about people with the income levels of you and me owning little boats in their backyards.
It says it has to be at least, I think, 15 feet long
18
and
feet.
18 feet. There you go. And these taxes existed less than a dozen years
Previously.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were taken off of the books somewhat
yeah,
recently.
because they wanted to draw people back in the area.
I get that, but this is what Virginia Beach does, man. Look what
Yeah.
they did with
No,
what was
why
that?
they want You know why they want more money? Because of the surf cities they want to build up the building right now. They run out of money.
I mean, what was the oceanfront area there with all the bars that are in that one location on top of each other, like Jillian's and
That
Dude,
was
have a nice
Waterside. Yeah.
Waterside. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
but that's
brought these. Well, they brought all these bars in to bring in money and a youth crowd, and as soon as they did, they went and shut them all down.
it's different now. It's brand new now. It's changed.
They got new bars in there.
Yeah.
But Have a Nice Day Cafe was a good time, man. They had dwarf women, not shit you,
I
dwarf
remember
women
them.
dancing on bars, serving you bottles of beer.
Mm.
And you're like, come on. And it's funny because the wife has this weird
Thing about dwarves.
almost phobia about dwarves, but like she doesn't like hate them, but she's like, ugh.
You know who got that fear? The good looking guy from Full House.
Jesse Stamos.
Yeah,
John
he got a
Stamos.
fear.
Yeah, he was Uncle Jesse.
Uncle
John
Jesse, yeah.
Stamos.
Yeah, he got a fear of dwarves, like because they got that comedian. Anyways, yeah, it's funny.
It's interesting you mentioned him because check out this crazy line of logic I have.
Mm.
He used to be married to Rebecca Romaine,
Yes,
the former volleyball star / supermodel, right?
the one that was an X-Men.
Yes, and she was also on the TV series The Librarians.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Librarians movies?
No.
Oh,
I
The
did.
Librarian was great. They were amazing.
Mm.
But they made a TV series with multiple librarians. They're bringing the show back soon, but it's a whole new cast of characters, and I'm
Of course,
excited about
Noah
a new, like,
Wild's busy.
well, Noah Wild is only in a handful of the series of the TV show. He was the guy in the movies.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm excited to watch a new TV series of it because I liked the last one.
You got Paramount Plus?
I do.
Yeah, I watch the new Irish mob. I mean the British
Mobland.
Mobland.
Mobland?
Yeah,
No,
it's good.
I might have to check it out.
You may take me later.
Currently, I'm watching on the regular. I'm watching like The Rookie,
Oh, that's a good show.
Ghosts, which is funny.
I don't know about that one. The rookie, the
did-
TV cop, the cop, and he's 50 wanted to be a cop.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, he was in the. You know that you would cancel that show, and people were like, "Why you cancel this show? This show is good."
Oh, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, they brought it back, and it's funny.
And his firefighter wife,
Oh yeah, the girlfriend, the wife. Now, yeah,
she's a smoke show.
every chicken, dude. That guy
Actually,
was
every
bigger
woman
than
on that show is
the rookie
gorgeous.
too. Like you dog.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like that one
Lucy.
cop, yeah, Lucy Chen, but
Yeah.
the dude she used to date, the hard ass training cop.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 times you've seen this guy like shirtless, and I'm like, I'm not a gay man, but like that's a hot dude. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that dude's got 6-pack abs, but you can't
And I
tell
hate
he's
it
wearing a
because you
cop
get best
uniform.
of characters like the gay black cop. I like the guy. He was amazing. They killed him. Like, why?
They killed him off. Yep.
Why? He was good. He was excellent for this. When they
Well,
got the new artist, it took me a while to warm up to her. The guy, he got a YouTube channel and the show.
you talking about the football player?
I guess so. The rich guy, he's a rookie rich guy, and then he convicted for a crime, but he didn't commit it.
Oh, that was last season though.
Yeah,
he already graduated the boot.
Yeah. I got invested with him. They almost killed him too. Like, why are you gonna kill every fucking new character I like? I started to invest on him.
Well, it's funny you say that because I know Brian doesn't like NCIS, but you got to admit this was a long-running popular show, right?
Yeah.
And in season 1, they killed Kate off with a gunshot wound to the head with a sniper. And you're like, you killed off one of the main characters in like episode 6, All right. So I'm sure you guys saw this. It was everywhere. This Florida State University FSU shooting.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I heard about it, but I didn't follow through. So I guess they want to blame somebody now.
Well, the fact that they didn't come out and immediately blame Trump supporters lets you know that at least it wasn't some dude obviously supporting going on. There's no clear motive as to what went on here. It looks like this man was just not well and lost his shit. Is this the same guy? Is this the same guy who stole his mom's service weapon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
she's a sheriff's deputy. Has she already been fired or suspended?
Retire. She's retired.
They let her retire?
No. She's retired a while ago.
Oh, I thought he took her actual service weapon.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I heard
maybe it's in the
rumor that she
YouTube video.
retired. I don't know if it's true or not. She's already retired and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, dude. But mostly, a lot of those shooting, one thing they had in common, there's not like a father and the father figure around.
Correct. And this is something I believe we talked about last week, how single mothers, the children tend to get in more trouble and be less happy than children of single fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have that authoritarian, that's wrong, this is how you do right.
Yeah.
Moms are more forgiving and, honey, you're perfect the way you are.
Like couple, like you don't punish a kid. You, like, hey, look, spanking them, like this is wrong. They're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get hit again. Yeah. And to get that mentality behind, like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. And so far, dude, I never had to. Only one time or two. The kids are great, dude. They're amazing to listen, dude. And my kids, the other day, is like, Daddy, I'm not supposed to watch the YouTube videos because mommy told me not to. Like, okay, thanks for telling me, I guess.
Well, no, that's good though, because then at least you're not getting your kid in trouble with mommy too.
Yeah. So he thought
my 5-year-old has gotten her bum spanked a handful of times. And no, not beatings, just a quick swat on the bottom, so you know that you were wrong, enough to sting and make you think about for a minute, right? But it stopped for a long time because she kind of got the message. But recently, she's come back and just like she'll like no, and do what she wants. I'm like,
I noticed that with girls, dude. My girls defiant, like, damn, you got ballsy. My boys like, okay, I don't want to get, because you already know the threat though, like, is there, She's just pushing the limit, like, why? Like, what are you doing this? You know?
Why do you want me to spank your bottom? It's like, I don't want to,
Yeah, like, no, what? No, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know why it is. I guess in the nature of defying authority or something.
That's exactly. It's especially when it comes to the female thing. And I know, there's no difference between men and women. Bullshit. Girls need to find where the limits are when it comes to boys and men.
Oh, the one thing we need to enforce too. You know how we say, "Oh, boys should not hit girls." We need to say girls do not should hit boys, because you're gonna push that limit with a guy. You never know who.
And then when it happens, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, and it's gonna be worse than hitting by another girl.
Yep. Oh yeah. And that's what gets me. It's like Bill Burr made the joke many years ago. The guy's funny, even though he's a douchebag. Yeah. But he made the joke. He's like, "Oh, I heard that you should never hit a woman." He's like, off the top of my head, and come up with 12. He's like, "I wake me up out of drunken stupor at 3 o'clock in the morning. I come up with 5 off the top of my head." Yeah. He's like, "I come home from work. My wife has drowned 2 of my children in the bathtub. She's holding the 3rd one underwater. Am I supposed to kick her in the head? Or am I supposed to go, now, honey, let go of him?
Yeah, and I came across with that because my little girl's younger than my boy, and I feel like she been hitting my boy, knowing that she not getting in trouble, but my boys don't like it. And they're like, look, you need to stop hitting boys. She should not hit boys because you never know
Sooner or
you're
later,
gonna push the
hit
limit,
back.
and it,
Yep.
you know.
And not only sooner or later he's gonna hit you back, and it's gonna hurt way worse.
Yeah,
Then
because
that boy's gonna get 3 times as much trouble when you got no trouble.
Mm-hmm. But anyways,
And
moving on.
well, this goes all the way back to the Civil Rights Act. We got to treat everyone the same, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see what unfolds. It looks like they have no idea what happened here. There were 2
But
dead last I
good
heard,
thing-
6 injured.
Well, unfortunately, bad and good, but he's not dead, so we can probably best say what happened, why he went this way.
I don't like it when these people get killed.
Yeah, because you never know what happened.
Not only that, but you don't get any actual justice.
Yeah. But I just like,
especially when they
wanna
shoot
pick the
themselves in the
brain,
head.
like, why they went this way? What happened to got to push to that point?
From what I understand, is this the same kid whose mother called like 2 days in advance saying that there's something wrong? He wasn't taking his meds.
I don't
But
know.
Florida wouldn't do an involuntary commitment until like they use a direct threat to others or himself.
No idea. Honestly.
It's almost impossible to involuntarily commit someone in this country.
Yeah, and then I don't know, people tripping about this YouTube video. This guy shot the image of this person on the ground, shot, but he just kept walking, drinking Starbucks.
That is messed up, dude.
Yeah, well, okay. This is I don't know what the person was going through. Like, was he had a headphones, listen to like, okay, why this person on the ground? Like, look at this dump. I don't know. We don't know.
Okay, what about the jackass recording it?
No, that's the what I'm talking about. The person recording that he got headphones on, walking around like, look at this idiot here on the ground. Why?
Bleeding out everywhere.
Huh?
Bleeding out everywhere.
Yeah, like what's going on? Like, why is this? Like, doesn't know anything, just oblivious of,
And that's the thing I'm actually talking about with my 5-year-old, dude. Being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
If you're walking around with headphones on or earbuds in, you have no idea what's going on around you.
Yeah, And that I'm not quick to prejudge this person. Like, I want to see that what was going on, why he was doing that. Is it like idiot? Like, he didn't care. Like, indifferent. What's going on? Because if he knew people getting shot, don't you think he'd be like
worried about getting shot himself?
Yeah, but he was drinking. Like, he's oblivious. I guess it's completely to the world.
And before we move on, actually, I want to move from there to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of reading about this Carmelo. What's his last name?
Forgot. Yeah,
I want to say Harris, but that's Kamala.
No.
It's the same guy. He has the same name as the freaking NBA Hall of Famer.
No idea, though. Honestly, don't know.
Yeah, the guy who's, huh?
Venus Inker.
No. We're talking about the Carmelo, whatever, the high school kid who stabbed the other high school kid. I looked at Texas. I looked into Texas laws really, really good because I tried to give that kid the benefit of the doubt 100% of the way, just so it wasn't a race thing, right?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes. Texas law: any reckless acts that could reasonably lead to the death of another person is first-degree murder in Texas. There is no second-degree murder. There is no manslaughter.
Oh wow! Is those manslaughter?
There's no man. So I was like, so I was like, oh, so DUI and you kill someone, that's murder 1 in Texas.
If it was a self-defense.
If it wasn't self-defense.
There's no way it's self-defense.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
And then you heard what happened with his family raising the head
$1 million.
Well, I think that's still
they had the fund me going thing.
I heard that's a rumor too. They didn't get no money, and
they bought a house with it.
No, they rent a house.
They're renting a house. They're renting a house to get away from where they were, so that they weren't dealing with the neighbors who heard everything. But they did buy a $150,000 Escalade
community already before that.
Well, yeah, they were already loaded. This wasn't some ghetto in Texas.
Yeah, they're like two-member family. Okay, you saw the video of the mom talking.
Yeah, and I also saw the
You-
video of his dad talking, then had the other dad arrested.
Okay, you saw the other dad, no?
Hmm.
Did you get like some kind of like beta energy coming out of him? Like he didn't wear the
Oh,
pants in the house.
well, I
Like think
mean,
about it. Like
strong black woman. I mean, come on, man.
yeah, so like he's just you know who was wearing the pants in the relationship.
And I'm gonna still say this kid had. I don't know how well it's gonna go, but his best chance is self-defense. That's his
Uh,
best chance, but it's not. With the way the laws are working, it's not gonna work out for him. Period. When
I
this
mean,
kid's
like he
boned, he's
probably
screwed.
unless he's do what is it? Admit guilt and just get a lower sentence or something.
Well, he's already the death penalties are already off the table because he's a minor.
Yeah, and you see the lawyer too, the rap
Oh,
sheet.
they fired the lawyers and brought in like a specialty team.
Really, they find the guy that had that rap sheet.
Yeah, they brought in this new guy and this new team. And actually, one of the main lawyers went out and did like a public press conference. And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's the guy.
we
You
need,
see his
oh,
rap
okay,
sheet?
yeah. He's like, the speech impediment guy. He's like, we need to stop all these lies. Like they did not know each other. This white boy Metcalf, not Metcalf.
Mhm.
We kept calling him. He's like, did not attack him. He did not strike him. We need to stop all of this. He's like, we need to get the actual facts out there. So when it shows up to a courtroom, things don't turn sideways. I'm like, oh my,
Too
you don't
late.
usually. Yeah, I know, right? Too late.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on topic. I just wanted to bring that up because it wasn't in here, and we skipped it a week.
Yeah, thanks for
Bob
fucking
and I had a really awesome
thanks for
conversation
flanking
about
me
it.
when I was fucking drunk last week. Like goddamn, like hold up, what? I'm like I'm too gone to have the discussion right now.
Anyway, back on topic here. We're
Mhm.
talking about the evils of people in this country. Uh, these two thugs up in Washington State were robbing this woman, and they took like her bank card, and to get her
Pin number.
pin, they drilled holes through her hand.
Torturing her.
Damn.
Oh my God. I don't know if Washington executes, and most states that do don't unless you actually kill somebody. But torture, if anything, should be on the list
I mean,
of
if it's money
I
that
highly
much,
doubt Washington does. It's a liberal state.
well, you're gonna get.
California does.
Honestly, California got harsh rule if you get convicted of crime.
It's funny though, because California technically has a death penalty, but they haven't executed anyone in like 25 years.
Yeah. Well, look at Menendez brothers.
Yeah, they were just on Netflix.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, South Carolina is killing people by firing squad.
It's but choice is a you know.
Oh,
how
by
you
the way,
wanna go?
the joke we made about that guy last, we were talking about with how women don't get to choose their death sentence because they're gonna sit there and go, well, I don't know. What do you want to
What do
do?
you want? Are you sure you want that? I don't
Yeah, the
know.
wife didn't think that was funny.
Well, at least we didn't use it as a title.
Whatever.
Whatever restaurant that you
Yeah,
come
exactly. We got to open a whatever restaurant. Like I said, with buxom women serving you beer and wings when you watch the game. So every time your wife says whatever, right?
Oh yeah, so you never gonna hear her saying whatever.
She'll come up with an answer every time after that. Brian's like,
So
this
you
is
see here,
fucking
Jimmy
rude.
Kimmel's come out and said it's the comedian's fault that Trump won.
Comedian's fault.
Okay. Well, he's saying it helped lead to Trump's victory is that people are giving comedians a hard time for making jokes or something like that.
What? Who's whatever?
And it's like, dude, you let these guys get away with almost anything on the left side of the aisle.
Yep.
Almost. I think Kathy Griffin was realistically the last one who did something like this and got and
She's
she didn't
back.
get away with it either.
Well, not for a while, but she's back now.
Kind of,
but
but her career's pretty much over. She's not
I
doing
mean,
New
do you
Year's
think
Eve.
you're gonna see any Republican people gonna buy tickets for her?
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, who's the dude from Kill Tony? It made the Puerto Rico joke.
Yeah,
Joe
because
Rogan.
no, not Joe Rogan. Killed Tony. Killed that's
The
his
guy
name,
from Kill
actually.
Tony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tony. But
he made-
he there's a thing about Puerto Rico. He made that joke because Puerto Rico got a trash issue.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's a giant, that giant floating island of trash.
Because he
So
goes
everybody's,
visit
oh, yeah, Puerto
the time.
Rico.
He goes a bit Puerto Rico all the time. He knows about the issue. And no Democrats want to talk about it. Like, hold on. The only reason they cannot burn trash because Joe Biden told them you cannot burn trash.
Yeah. So when what are they going to do with it on their island?
Yeah, and they need to build South Korea build a power plant that you burn trash and that's what you use up to create steam to create energy.
Like basically any power plant creates heat to boil water to make steam for the most
They
part.
wouldn't have the blackout issues they having right now.
Yeah, but that's very dirty.
No, they created a system they can collect the steam. I mean, it's really clean.
The exhaust.
And the byproduct of that, they make bricks to what is it, pavers.
Yeah, I've seen that, and they build roads and houses with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
There we go. Did you see? Okay, we brought up Taylor Lorenz on this show before. Now I know Brian still has no idea who this woman is.
I still do her, even though she's old.
I don't watch CNN, so.
Oh no, she's a media.
She's independent.
Yeah.
She lost her job with the New York Times and another place a while ago when she said something really egregious. I can't remember what it was, but she went on with this one dude. I don't even recognize his name, Dorian or something.
CNN leftovers.
Yeah, and the guy he dressed like fucking Zelensky at the White House doing this interview, except he had sunglasses on too. She's like saying, "Oh, women like Luigi Mangione. He's good looking, he's in shape, he's a good moral man.
Morally good man."
I was like, he killed a man and shot him in the back and ran away like a coward. And they're like, well, he's just taking down the power of the rich people. I was like, he's worth as much money as the man he killed.
Right.
And he didn't earn it. His family did. Oh my God. And then she came out trying to defend herself about this after the fact. Like, oh, I didn't say I said that. And it's like,
I bet you did.
She did. There's the video of it. And there's also a couple weeks ago, there was something that came out online saying that Joe Biden died. Then like 20 minutes later, I was like, no, that's not true. And he's like, oh, that's too bad. We really could have done with Joe Biden just going away forever. I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with these people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Joe Biden. I don't want him to die.
No.
Like, I may not like a whole bunch of these wealthy assholes too that like are controlling the world, but I don't want them dead. I don't know. Did you guys see this article, this essay some kid wrote, went viral about when is it time to kill them?
No, I missed it.
I wish I had shared it here because he goes through like all the stuff that he's accusing the Trump administration of doing, and I was like, I can show you dates when Biden did the same thing.
Yep. Not
but
that
nobody got killed for it. He's like, oh, he's ignoring Supreme Court decisions. I was like, Biden did it twice.
He did it more than that. Every time he came out with how many different repay the student loan programs that they kept saying was legal every time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we'll just do it a different way. It'll take them long enough to do something about it. We can pay off more debt. And it's like, what? Why don't we pay off our federal debt instead of paying money to these kids who signed loans that said you are not allowed to be forgiven for this?
You don't care about the federal debt.
Well, why the fuck have a non-forgivable loan if you're going to forgive it?
That's
the whole point was you borrow from the taxpayers.
How about we're not allowed to borrow money from the federal government to go to college?
That's exactly what we had said before. Was if this is such an issue, we need these are predatory loans. Let's stop handing them out.
If it doesn't pay out, if you go to college, it doesn't pay out.
But the Trump administration is moving the federal loans the student loans out of the federal government again.
Back into the private banks?
No, not quite. He's moving it over to the Small Business Administration.
Oh, it should go back to the college. Like, hey, you a fraudulent degree.
So they'll be in charge of issuing loans and stuff instead of the actual federal government or the colleges, because he knows that the reasons why colleges were able to jack up their tuition so much is because there was no competition
and guaranteed
they
payment,
set
no
their own,
what.
and they got guaranteed payments. Yeah, so
yeah, it's not even like you borrow money, you can't pay it back, and after 7 years it falls off your credit. Oh, sucks to be the guy who loaned me money, right? The federal government, you got paid up front. The
Yeah.
federal government didn't get paid back. So
Right.
exactly, the schools jack up their rates, but then the guy who doesn't want to borrow money has to join the damn service to pay for his school.
Right.
And it's like, why did I give up my hearing and my ability to walk without a limp to go to school when I could just borrow money with no intention of paying it back?
So let me ask you guys this: if you go to a mechanic and he says he's gonna swap your engine, he put an engine, it wasn't properly installed, aren't you allowed to sue them for properly? No.
To an extent, depends
Yeah.
on what happens after that. If it
So
does,
if you
if
go
it
to
just
college,
doesn't run,
to go to college to get a degree, so you can get a good job, and the degree doesn't worth anything.
well, hey, they never guaranteed you're going to get garbage with your lesbian dance theory degree. Like
Oh,
if you go to, if you're going to college to study
yeah,
engineering or medicine or law,
yeah. I can see that. Like, okay, it's up to you. Like, look, you say you got the grades. I don't know what's going on with your attitude or whatever that you cannot get a job. I mean,
well, that's what gets me too. Is
all this stupid degrees. Like, what? Like,
well, that's the
do you
thing too.
need a
Is they go to.
master in English? I can see a bachelor's. That's it. What else?
I can see a master's in English,
But
assuming
how many
you're
of them we
doing
need?
something with it. Realistically, you're going to be teaching.
Yeah, how many teachers do we need? Like
Teach
college
English
professor
lit.
level.
I don't know. You need at least a couple in each college, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying like if they keep reproducing all this freaking lesbian history, fucking gay history, all this history, like it's all made up. Like, how much job is out there for them? Demand, supply and demand.
Yeah. Well, again, exactly. You're going to study engineering. Yeah, you probably need a college degree, but at least a lot of these folks are going to school. They're borrowing money to go to school. Then they end up with a job at Starbucks. It's like, why didn't you go to school to go and work at Starbucks first? Because Starbucks will pay for your college.
Yeah.
Like you did this backwards, you dumbass, right?
Yeah, and at least you can find a way. Like, hey, look, I'm going through this degree, but it doesn't seem like it's worth it. Like,
Well,
let me
yeah,
stop halfway.
and you get these guys coming through with like a general studies bachelor's degree, and like, oh, I'm smarter than you. It's like, first of all, no, you're not.
You pay you're in debt right
Yeah,
now.
you owe $80,000.
I own my own property in West Virginia.
Yeah, I own a house and acres of land, and
Yeah.
I don't work anymore.
And I don't
Who's
make that
smarter
much
here?
money, but you know what? I'm better off than you.
Which is funny because I actually do have some college degrees, plural, not like
Yeah.
Brian does. But
There's nothing
again,
wrong with my degrees.
there's nothing wrong with them at all. But you paid
No.
for them, didn't you?
Not all of them. I use a GI Bill on most of them.
Yeah, but
You tell me your blood, sweat, and tears didn't pay for your education.
That paid, and then I still took out student loans in the end because I love going to school.
Yeah, my first ship, we had a guy studying nuclear engineering while he was on the ship.
Was
Nice.
he Luke?
No,
just
he was a
engineer?
hull technician.
Oh, okay. But still,
But he's like, while I'm enlisted, the government will pay for all of my education. So he just like, I'm going to study everything. And I was like, good for you, buddy.
yeah.
I wish I had done the same thing because they gave him so much time off to go to class.
Well, all this nuclear engineering, all it is, you have to just make sure the reactor doesn't blow up while you have to cool off, the reactor, and with the heat you create steam and turbine the generators. That's all. There's
The
same to do it.
The same way your alternator works, except it's not belt driven.
Yeah, so like steam driven.
Yeah. Well, that's the nuclear reactors, coal power plants, all these work that way versus a windmill, which spins a magnet, which realistically it's the same thing. You spin a turbine, which spins a magnet past copper wires, right?
The wind turbine?
Well, yeah, but that's the same way a
Yeah,
steam
they got
generator works.
a gear reduction system on and a gear multiplier to
But I'm saying the way it creates current is the same process.
Yeah,
You're swinging magnets past
generator.
copper
That's
wires.
what they call a generator to create energy. Generates energy.
No, you're not really
Push
generating
the electrons. Huh?
You're not really generating it. You're transferring it. One form of energy to another.
No. You have to gonna end up to a generator. The generator is the one that creates the electricity.
I know, but it doesn't create electricity. It
generates.
Well, maybe it creates electricity. It doesn't create.
It generates electricity. That's what it's called, generator.
Yeah, the electricity, but the energy already existed, whether it's the fuel burning or the windmill spinning.
The mechanical energy you're talking about.
Yeah, it gets transferred into electrical energy.
Yes.
All right. Let's get off of our electrical lesson here.
ACDC.
Did you see this video of this Washington State University professor beating an Indian American dude who was wearing a MAGA cap?
No, I saw the lady in the restaurant wearing a went off on people grandparents with the grandkids because they were wearing the husband was wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah, and like, you need to get out of here. You're not welcome here. It's like,
There's a
are
fat lady.
Yeah, and the same thing happened in New York in the subway too. Remember when the white lady attacked the
They
black
talk about
guy?
the Republicans being no violence and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they don't even say Republicans are more violent. They say the right wing is more violent, but they consider anyone who's not
Their side
registered Democrat Republican, or I'm sorry, right wing. Which, I mean, the neo-Nazis and the anarchists completely opposed, completely opposite ends, and they're calling them both
they
right
try to
wing.
lump them together now.
Yeah, and they're lumping them together, and I'm like, that's just neither the anarchists nor the neo-Nazis are accepted in the Republican Party under the tent. Shoot, the Republicans will let me.
The National Socialists. So
yeah, well, yeah, the Republicans will let me in their tent. They'll even let me register if I want because I don't have extreme views, but I don't consider myself Republican because I disagree with them enough. But the left has moved the window so far left.
You don't go crazy up them.
Well, and that's the thing is the Republicans will talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we managed to have this show when you and I had a giant argument about Carmelo Anthony, about what possibly could go on.
Yeah, you attacked me when that was my weakest point, drunk and shit.
I didn't necessarily attack you. I was just simply saying.
You flanked me.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, I want to bring up. I said flotilla last time. The word I was looking for was armada.
Armada. Oh,
what's an armada?
I think it's the army because it got
well, the Spanish Armada. When the Spanish sent an armada, it was naval.
It's like a battle group.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, is an aircraft strike group an armada? I don't know. And anyway. So now we got another guy looking at.
I think you are right. I think flotilla is a small fleet, and armada is the entire ships.
All right. Well, someone else is being charged with Tesla dealership vandalism and arson.
Oh, it's a lot easier now that the car security systems have been turned on and sending video back to headquarters.
Well, this is the Tesla dealership in New Mexico that was attacked. And do you recall?
Yeah,
tried to burn down.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, tried to burn down the Republican Party building. He's looking at what, 20 years for domestic terrorism?
Yep.
And
that's because he hates Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's what gets me, man. These folks have no idea what they're talking about. Like, oh, you put this random guy in charge. He's like, he's not in charge of jack shit. Like, he suggests stuff to the president who goes yes or no. And they're saying that, like, oh, he's got access to your private information.
No,
First of all, no, he doesn't. It's blind to him. And second, do you have a PayPal account? Because if you do, he's already got your fucking information. Do people realize this?
No, they don't.
No, because they're stupid.
Yeah,
they listen to what someone else says. They get angry and they go and blow up a fucking car. Blows my mind. And then now some kid in Boston, a Boston college student, he's being charged with firebombing the dealership in Missouri, which I thought was interesting. That's a long way away, huh?
I'll make a sample out of him.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the problem. Is these kids are ruining their lives. They're going to spend 20 years in prison because they didn't pay enough attention to what was going on.
Yeah,
logical.
It's like, oh, that's the thing is these kids have nothing to complain about for so long that they are willing to find a reason to think that they're doing something like burning their bras. You know what I mean? Or writing protest songs.
Dude, you need to find a purpose in life. What can I do for me? Sort of like they want to change the world without improving themselves first.
Well, think globally, act locally, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is they're thinking locally in terms of let's blow up this car when we should blow up all of the cars. Versus Jordan Peterson, who says, clean your fucking room first.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, the average person's life is not affected by whoever's in office as president of the United States.
No.
Very little anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You could go about your life and be very happy. I mean, I didn't like Joe Biden, but he didn't directly affect me a whole lot. My local government has affected me way more than federal government, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that affected me is gas prices. But that's the only thing that was killing me.
Gas is back under $3 here.
Yeah.
Here too.
Well, shortly after these tariffs were announced, they spiked up to $3.15 and then dripped right back down to $2.99, which is still up from the $2.88 they were at. But it's still less than I was paying.
$2.85 here.
Oh, good for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine what gasoline is in Massachusetts.
Oh, what's the other place?
What's that?
California.
Yeah. California has too many taxes on everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so a principal out in Ohio.
Yep.
Geez Louise, stopped the cops from coming in for a bomb threat. Because this person, black woman,
Doesn't trust cops.
hates pigs.
Does she still have a job?
That's an excellent question. I don't remember seeing where she lost her job because this is not her first interaction with the local police.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yes. How are you possibly the principal of a school doing something to stop the police from ensuring the safety of the students?
Right.
Yeah, I hire.
Uh,
Because a rational person would not even think that way.
If I was a parent there, I would be at a school board meeting so fast, getting put on the terrorist watch list, just like that guy in Loudoun County, Virginia, who got put on the terrorist watch list because his daughter got butt raped
Yep.
by a boy who liked to wear a skirt. And no, not a trans girl. Kid even said, "I'm a boy. Sometimes I like to wear a skirt."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, what if we got like a shooting incident? You're not gonna let the cops through because
we don't want the cops here. Like,
yeah,
okay, well,
we can't solve this. Like
I'd be more worried about Molotov cocktails.
that too.
yeah, between the Teslas and this Jewish man's house in Pennsylvania, the governor Josh Shapiro,
who's got state police protection around
Well,
him.
How the hell he passed that?
does he?
Yes, he has protection. There's police protection around the governor's mansion. I
So
guarantee it.
how did this guy scale the fence with a backpack full of Molotov cocktails with a 5-pound sledgehammer?
Somebody was asleep on the job. They
It'd be
almost
funny-
got Epstein's.
It would be funny if he hired most of the DEI cops.
Yeah, all right.
How's that working for you now?
Well, Shapiro, I don't know if everyone remembers, he was the guy that would have been a great VP choice for Harris, but they
yeah,
didn't because he's Jewish.
No, I think he turned it down. Dude.
He
It's
did
like-
turn it down.
He did turn it down.
Yeah, I was
possibly
like, no,
because he
I'm
said,
not
"I'm
gonna
not being
be
attached to that garbage."
Yeah, it's like this is gonna fire me. Nope. Like I would too. Like nope. No, I'm good. Thank you.
There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in Pennsylvania, all the way back to them trying to kill Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this guy tried to burn down the governor's mansion at like 2 a.m. when his family was sleeping on it, the first night of Passover.
Is it gonna be the new Florida, Pennsylvania?
Well, at least the guy turned himself in.
Oh yeah, he felt guilty. because
He's
he
a
didn't pay
registered
taxes.
socialist.
He don't want to pay taxes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing is the first story I heard was he's a socialist and he was upset that
Property
the government
taxes.
seized his property and auctioned it off because he didn't pay his bills. It's like, what do you mean
Well,
your?
dude,
What do
I thought
you, no,
you
what do
were
you mean
all-
your house?
Are
What do
you
you mean?
all for government and stuff? Like you
Yeah,
want the
yeah, no.
government?
Exactly, dude. It's like, what do you mean your house? You mean our house,
Yeah.
right?
Welcome to democracy.
Well, it turns out he came out and said that he was upset with the way Trump is handling Israel Palestine. I'm like,
So you
first
go
of all, Josh
firebomb?
Shapiro had nothing to do with that. So you attack the Jew. And second of all, Biden did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just, what are these people thinking?
They're not.
They don't think. They're all emotions, dude.
Brian, move us into the immigration litigation and what is going on there.
Well, another court system has blocked the Trump administration from revoking the status of over 500,000 migrants, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call them.
how can you? How the president has every authority to revoke any kind of authority to stay in this country if you're not a citizen,
Well,
right?
these are the ones that came in under the Biden humanitarian patrol program.
So what you're saying is these
These people
judge,
are from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela.
well, Cuba, I get. We let Cubans stay as long as they got wet feet when we find them, dry feet when we
I
find
don't
them,
know if we
right?
do that anymore.
No, we're not doing the wet feet, dry feet thing
I
anymore.
don't know. I don't think so, but I would.
But
I'm not positive.
I'm gonna give Cubans the stay because we are the nearest safe nation.
Yeah, they get that. Yeah.
You can get asylum. I'll do that, especially if you actually request asylum.
Right.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
this judge is saying, who was an Obama appointee, said that each migrant needs to have an individualized case by case review.
so 500,000 of them. So that's gonna be what, 10 years before we get through all of them.
Yeah, and they're thinking Trump will be in office by then, so it won't
And
matter.
that's the thing is they're giving these judges are essentially passing a law from the bench, ruling from the bench.
Well, the Supreme Court's going to hear a case. I know it's in here someplace, but the Supreme
It
Court's going to
is
hear this case in
birthright
about
citizenship.
4 weeks. Yeah, that birthright citizen thing, and I think they're going to hear a case coming up soon about district judges' ability to do what they're doing.
Oh yeah, a district court. What? There's 266 district court judges in the federal government, I think,
Yeah,
and one of them can overrule the president. Not just that, one of them apparently has more authority than one Supreme Court justice because they can just pass a blanket boom for the entire nation. I don't know if
yeah,
people realize how many people have read Article 3. I know you guys both have, but it's probably been a while, right?
yeah,
A judge only has authority over people in his courtroom or her courtroom, not the entire country. It takes the Supreme Court to make a broad decision on a law.
right,
And these guys are like, I don't care what the law actually says. You're not going to do this. It's like
right.
that, just like that judge is like, no, you got to go get this guy from the El Salvadorian prison.
Yeah,
And it's like, how? Wow, he's a citizen of El Salvador in the custody of the El Salvadorian police.
well, now we know the his street name.
Yeah, like
Let Chile.
Quifo or something.
Chile. Chile.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, yeah.
That means
And
whitey.
apparently, he's been accused of domestic abuse several times.
Oh, you saw the interview they asked the wife about it?
Oh, I'll tell
She
you
like
what.
drew a blank. Like,
I'll tell you what. I'm telling you, she was under duress. No, the look of terror on her face when they asked her about the restraining order she filed.
mm-hmm.
I swear to God, MS-13 knocked on her door, guns in hand, and told her to shut the fuck up.
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she posted pictures of him and her husband, of her and her husband, on her Instagram or whatever. She covered up his gang tattoos with like little hearts and stuff. Yeah. And now a judge is looking to like have an inquiry as to why Trump won't return this guy. Like he has no authority to go into a foreign nation and take a foreign national out of their country.
Hold on. He aided and abetted the escape of terrorists?
Well, they're saying that he didn't get his trial.
Due process. Due process.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, well, the problem is the thing is foreign nationals don't get the same due process as American citizens.
But did he win in front of the judge twice? And they say
twice he got orders of deportation against him.
Due
Yes,
process.
And two separate judges said that he is in fact an MS-13 gang member.
That's due process.
Yes, and the thing is, the reason why he got not a stay of deportation, but like you can't deport him back to El Salvador was because he said MS-13 would kill him. And like, well, he's a member of the gang.
MS-13 Barrio. I mean, Street 1813. I mean, 18 Barrio is supposed to kill him, something like that.
No, well,
but there's no longer the threat of another gang over there.
Well, no, they're all in the same prison he's in now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're not killing each other.
And luckily, he's got the senator from Maryland on his side, Chris Van Hollen.
And Cory Booker almost went too, but I think Booker realized that it was completely against the law.
Political suicide.
Not
Yeah.
for him. He's in Maryland.
Well, okay. He went to El Salvador and spoke with the president of El Salvador.
Vice president.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was the president.
No, vice president first.
Oh yeah. He called the vice president over the phone.
But he went and spoke to the actual president in person, I thought, in El Salvador. Maybe not.
Well, I think when he first got there, the president was traveling. He wasn't home. Wasn't.
Oh, maybe. But basically, he attempted to perform foreign policy as a senator. This is a violation of the Logan Act.
Well, he did end up getting to meet with him, and it looked like a horrible prison that they were in. They were drinking margaritas and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're drinking margaritas and having a good time.
And he's come out saying, we were really drinking those margaritas. You can check by the salt on the rim. You can see it on the rim. It's still there the whole time.
Lisa Strauss. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to tell me the guy who was in the dirtiest, disgustingest prison on the planet isn't going to have himself a drink when he gets the chance? Even American prisoners make wine in toilets. Come on.
So do American sailors.
I was just going to say, I knew a guy who made bilge wine.
Somebody that works near the bilge.
Yes, someone who knew how to weld all this up to the bottom of a deck plate so it wasn't even in the bilge, just suspended above the bilge. Yeah, which is great though. You could use the heat of the engines to actually help your process,
your fermenting process.
Yeah, to speed it up a little bit. Well, that's what I hear anyway. I don't know. I've never fermented anything to make wine before, and I've definitely never distilled anything either.
Right.
But anyway, the same judge, Boasberg's now talking about holding Trump in contempt for not going in and
kidnapping.
And
we know that this is a nothing burger because the House of Representatives held the Attorney General of the United States, Eric Holder, in contempt, and guess what happened to him?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's up to once the judges do what they do, or the House Representatives or the Senate do what they do, then it goes to the Department of Justice to decide if there's going to be prosecution or not.
Well, that's one thing that gets me that you mentioned Department of Justice is because I think it was a Harvard law professor maybe 3 weeks ago was saying how the Department of Justice is its own government branch and is co-equal. And I was like, no, it's not. Department of Justice is directly underneath the executive branch. And everyone's like, no, you're fucking stupid. It's like, we got the court. No. I'm like, yeah, that's judicial branch, not Department of Justice. Department of Justice,
you're the one that's stupid.
Yeah, I was like, Department of Justice, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture. All of these departments are created by Congress under the executive branch that the president controls.
Right.
Department of Justice is the guys who go and arrest people and incarcerate them. The judicial branch decides on whether or not rules made by Congress and enacted by the executive branch are in fact legal. Kind of crazy.
Very crazy.
And yeah, law professor is saying this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, for real. This is why I keep saying, it's like, people need to read the damn Constitution instead of just assuming that they know what it is.
Nobody cares about the Logan Act anymore now that there's a Republican president.
And yeah, there we go. The blue state senator meets with Abrego Garcia. Oh, not mine, Abrego Garcia. By the way, his first name isn't Abrego. That's his middle name.
Okay.
Hilmar is his first name. Kilmar. And I can't remember I still can't remember the president's name, and it sucks because I was saying it all week, so I didn't forget it again. I know Guapo knows it. Ankare or something.
What's that?
The El Salvadorian president.
But Bukele?
Oh, there you go. I was close.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't sure where to put this, but I figured to put it here. A judge blocked the Trump administration from changing passport stuff concerning gender with transgender folks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where I stand on this. I think that if the Supreme Court, no, I'm sorry, that was the United Kingdom that came out and
Yes, it was UK that came out and said a woman
It's a
has to be a
female.
woman.
Yeah.
yeah, it has to
They
have
know what a
XX.
woman is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. Honestly, I don't care what you identify as, but like we need to know what's actually happening around us. This whole my truth garbage has gone so far.
It's only the truth. That's it.
Well, I mean, no, if I could have my truth, where the fuck is my Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Because I won the Super Bowl last year in my head.
So what you asking?
Congratulations.
What you were asking me about it? What was the question?
I was trying to remember the El Salvadorian president's name.
Bukele. Yeah.
All right.
He's descended from Palestinians, Christian Palestinians. Yes.
Oh, by the
That's
way, before we move on, I just want to bring up an interesting piece of information. Actually, I'm going to ask you a question, see if you guys can get the trivia question first, which I know you can't.
Mm.
Henry Aaron, Willie Mays, and Babe Ruth shared an unusual thing in common concerning their professional baseball careers. Can you tell me what it is?
They were all left-handed.
No.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
They
But
all
that sounds
started-
legit.
They all started and ended their careers in the same cities, which they all started in Boston. They all ended their careers in New York, but played for different teams.
Mm.
And the reason why you never heard of Henry Aaron is because he started out in the Negro Baseball League, and so did Willie Mays. So yeah, Willie Mays started his career out in Boston with the Braves before they moved to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Ruth obviously was the Red Sox. I couldn't find the name of the team Henry Aaron did. It was the BBB. It was something Boston baseball.
The black baseball.
It might have been Black Boston baseball,
Black
something
Boston
like that.
baseball,
For all
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they all ended up in New York on different teams too. And I was like, that's
The Yankees.
Yankees, the Mets, and then there was another team at one
I still
point.
don't know the difference between the Yankees and the Mets. Though.
One's American League and one's
yeah.
National League.
Yankees are AL, Mets are NL.
It's still like what's the difference between Metro and the National?
Oh, American League does not have a designated. I'm sorry, the American League has a designated hitter that can bat for anyone in the lineup. The National League, they do not. That's why you don't see a lot of pitchers in the American League batting, and when they do, it's a phenomena that people speak of. Like when Roger Clemens had to bat for the Boston Red Sox, it was a big deal because they changed their lineup, and their DH couldn't cover him this next at bat. Interesting stuff.
Okay.
Strange rules, but that's why they have the World Series, the NL and the AL, to come together to see which team has the better team. Who won each pennant? They come together to play each other. Like the AFL and AFC and NFC, right?
CIO.
Well, no, the American Football League, the National Football Conference, or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
Then they get together to do the Super Bowl. You got two different leagues. All right. So new information is coming out concerning the Rona.
Corona.
Yeah, Guapo shared this one about an investigation going on concerning 10 nurses in a Massachusetts hospital.
Oh yeah, like retarded now. I'm sorry. They're slowly to think about things nowadays.
Well, 10 of these nurses now have brain tumors about the same time after getting their COVID vaccines. There's a whole lot of what's really going on here. I thought this is very interesting because we were talking about vaccine injury for a long time.
Yes, we were. White House made a couple changes to the COVID.gov webpage.
Yeah. Did you see it?
I didn't go there. I just read the highlights about it. It's all about, it's not about vaccines anymore.
No, they're saying we're almost certain that this came out of the Wuhan lab. And there's a whole breakdown in there about Fauci's pardon and how Fauci pushed this stuff, and Fauci admitted he made some of this stuff up, and Fauci absolutely lied to Congress concerning gain of function. I got a feeling that this was a thing to put out there before they go and arrest Fauci and test this waiving of his pardon. And I got a prediction for you, Brian. We're not doing the prediction page anymore, but July, we're going to see prosecutions with some of these left-wing folks, especially the ones that just had their pardons stripped away. And knowing Trump and his flair for theatrics, I bet you're going to be sitting there having a burger and a beer watching the fireworks on the 4th of July, and your phone's going to buzz. Boop, boop. Fauci got arrested. Nice. Boop, boop. Oh, Peter Schiff got arrested. Boop, boop. Oh, Liz Cheney got arrested. Because that sounds like something Trump would do, doesn't it? Do it all on the 4th of July. It's like, boom, 250 years, baby. F all of you. Go back home.
Yeah.
And another thing directly related to that, though, is 7 U.S. service members got, quote, COVID-19-like symptoms after the 2019 Wuhan Games, which is some kind of like Olympic thing, I guess, for like military members, something. I don't know. I've never heard of this before.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, they came back with this virus. And they're saying COVID-like symptoms in 2019. Jesus Christ, it's COVID-19, right? I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. It really does sound like these guys were trying to make a bioweapon with their gain of function research, and Fauci was involved in it.
Yeah,
and actually,
nothing will ever happen to him. He's got that.
No.
He's got that pardon.
Well, I don't know, man. He waived that pardon. He's like, Joe didn't sign it himself. Joe wasn't even in the country when it happened. And we've never seen preemptive pardons before. I will say, though, twice in history, we have seen pardons waived. And I didn't realize this. Someone brought it up to me. Actually, I think it was Tim Pool brought it up. And I went and looked it up. George Bush waived a presidential pardon. Now, slightly different situation. Turns out Bush pardoned the guy himself. Then within like 20 minutes, found out his family was a major donor to the Republican Party. Immediately came out and changed it back. It was like, no way we're getting hit with, buying your way out of prison. You know what I mean? And I guess Grant undid a pardon for somebody from the Civil War. But that was a long time ago, But pardons have been undone. So there is a precedent. Now it's just a matter of extrapolating it and see if it goes as far as it could. And Brian missed that whole thing about 2 pardons being undone by presidents. That's too bad. One of them was Bush, Brian.
Okay.
Thing is, Bush was the one who also gave that same pardon. Yeah. Well, like I said, I mentioned it, Guapo. He pardoned this guy, and then like 20 minutes later, found out his family were mega donors to the Republican Party. And he's like, nope, cannot have that on the record. Got to undo this.
Right.
Yeah.
But it lets you know it can be undone. Right?
By the same president, no.
No, it's the same president. What difference does that make? It's the office that does it, not the person in office, right?
All right, I just
Technically, yeah.
And Joe didn't know where he was. How could he have possibly issued pardons if he didn't know what state he was in, or he was kept referring to people that had been dead for 30 years.
Well, he did come out of hiding this week.
He did. He did. Now, I'm glad to see he's still getting around, honestly. He's an old, sick man, let's be real. But he's not helping the party by doing this.
No, but a lot of people have come out and said, we don't care anymore what Biden has to say.
Well, then
please stay away.
Exactly. They're saying, please stay away. It's like, why were you so ready to vote for this guy then? He's like, seriously, If the entire thing you're doing is we're running and we're not Trump, you could have run anyone besides Joe or Harris, right? Anyway,
So
Ryan,
this statistic here is pretty cool that since Trump took office in January, we've brought back 24 American hostages from around the globe.
over 24, which could legitimately mean 25, but yeah, all these hostages are getting released. That's pretty badass, right?
That tells you that people weren't afraid of Biden, or he wasn't even trying to do this, but Trump's
It
a
was
whole
both.
different matter.
It was the both, especially afraid because did you notice Russia moved into Ukraine with the with Donbass under Obama, right?
Yeah.
And then under Trump, they stood back and was like, we ain't doing crap. And Obama watched it happen, didn't he?
Yep.
Did nothing about it.
No,
Under Trump,
didn't even
nothing
try.
happens. Under Biden, they move in to take Crimea.
Yeah.
And now we're too far into this conflict to end it as easily as it. I don't think it would have happened at all if Trump was in office.
I don't either. I don't either.
I mean, there's no way to know, but it seems like Guapo's having trouble with his kids, huh?
Yeah. But I also know he's got a much stronger leg to stand on, president policy wise and stuff now. He learned a lot in those 4 years he wasn't president.
Yes, a lot of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we were mentioning, terrorism, especially domestic terrorism earlier, and Joe Biden did specifically say domestic terrorism is the biggest threat in our country, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So I thought he was out of his mind, but maybe he's right because they're burning down cars, blowing cars up, attacking governors' mansions,
Mm-hmm.
beating people up for a hat they're wearing. Tulsi Gabbard has gone and declassified Joe's counterterrorism doctrine or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Strategy. There you go. I have not read it yet because I don't care enough, honestly.
I don't either.
But I don't know. Why would you have your counter? I guess I don't know. I guess if it's a strategy, you might want to keep it kind of quiet so people don't, walk into your. People will walk into your trap, but
Yeah.
let people know you do this shit. You're gonna go to prison. That's what Pam Bondi is like. You do this shit, you're going to prison for 20 years. Period. Right.
Right.
No parole. No nothing. I think that's a better deterrent than just giving in to the masses that are burning down entire cities that happened under Trump the first time.
Yep.
All right. So the U.S. and Iran held their first direct nuclear talks since I think Obama. Maybe it was Trump. I'm not sure. I don't see that going anywhere. Iran's made it pretty clear they don't care. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're still funding the Houthis that we're blowing up every day. And from what I hear after this, they went and ran their mouths again anyway. So this might turn into a real problem, which is why last week and the week before, I brought up the shit going on over there with the 2 aircraft carrier strike groups.
Yeah.
And the 17s and B-22s, and the C-17s over there. Diego Garcia is a giant wake the fuck up message. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna see if I can get some more of my Navy vet buddies together. Maybe we can have an episode concerning just what'll happen with the Navy should a giant conflict break out. And it looks like Trump has confirmed his minerals deal with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Sorry, the wife just shared a picture to me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a picture of all the women on the Blue Origin strip.
You hadn't seen that yet.
Well, no, the caption at the bottom said, "I'm just glad we know what a woman is again." But yeah, this minerals deal that Zelensky blew up back in February when he dressed like some.
Well, he's trying to negotiate better terms.
Yeah, but he was dressed up like he was on the front line of combat. It's like, dude, you haven't seen an actual explosion yet. You've been hiding in your palace, right?
You know, and it looks like he did because we're not asking for as much money back in precious metals as we were before.
Well, here's the thing: is Ukraine don't have any evidence they have this much material to sell to us real cheap.
Mm.
Like this is kind of just guessing that they have these rare earth minerals like einsteinium and beryl, floridium. Yeah, Ukraine probably doesn't have these rare earth minerals, which they call them rare earth minerals. They're not as rare as people make them sound.
It's just the name is stuck to
Yeah.
them by the time.
If you go in your backyard and dig a cubic foot of earth out of the ground, you're probably going to have some rare earth minerals in that cubic foot.
I'm going digging right now.
Yeah, what are you going to do with it though?
Sell it.
To who? You have to refine that crap. You have to be able to recognize it. You have to be
I'm
able to
going to take it
refine
to the
it.
pawn shop and say, "This is rare earth metals. I want some money."
Yeah, and they're going to laugh at you and say,
Yeah.
gold's at an all-time high. Why don't you sell that?
This is cheaper. I got it on my backyard.
Yeah, you probably got gold in your backyard too.
I better
That's the
start
thing,
digging
though.
for
It's
that
little.
too.
It's trace amounts. But it looks like Putin is talking about ready to actually have a peace agreement go through here.
Well, this peace agreement is for Easter weekend.
This is yes. He's talking about a Easter weekend ceasefire, but he's also it says talks in London may lead to ceasefire in Ukraine. Thing is, it was Trump in London talking to these people, not the English.
The British.
Yeah, and they're all worried. Like Trump said, he's going to walk away from the table if Russia won't, have a negotiation. So, well, yeah, how much are you supposed to keep offering these guys in concessions, right?
Right. And not that long.
It's like, oh, he's going to leave us to go do it. Well, fine, we'll do it. And, it's like, oh, cool. Keep buying our weapons and our aircraft. Make us tons of money when the rest of the world fights. And then when it seems like it's all over, the United States will come in and wipe up the mess, just like they did after World War I and II, and be the leading superpower on the planet easily again. Why not, right?
Yep.
Especially, I mean, these guys are flying F-35s, F-22s. They're using Patriot missiles. They're using SM-1s, SM-2s. I mean, these are all American weapons.
Sure.
They're using our battle tanks over there. Let them keep buying them. Make Americans tons of money.
Make America rich again.
Yeah. Do people understand how big the Pacific Ocean is?
No, you
It's a
don't.
long. Okay. Russia and Alaska, especially with the Aleutian Islands, it's real close. Sure, you go ahead and invade Alaska, right?
Mhm.
March across Alaska, march through Canada, and come in through Washington State and see what happens.
Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you we would nuke Alaska right where they landed before we even let them get in. It was like, oh, okay. Well, like nobody lived there. It was the middle of fucking wilderness. And what you're gonna hit us for nuking our own fucking country?
Apparently, Russia's not, Iran's not the other one helping out the Houthis. So is China.
Yeah, this scared me a
Mhm.
lot, dude.
And probably that's why he heard them with the tariff.
It's one, and I brought it up, I think, last episode, Thucydides' trap. The upcoming economic power is about to surpass the leading economic power, and it almost always leads to war.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are helping the Houthi rebels in Yemen target American ships, which is an act of war.
Yeah.
And instead of going to war with them, why don't we just wipe out their economy so they're no longer the upcoming economic power on the planet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna be more concerned with the internal affair than being an external affair.
Yeah, and almost the entire world's turning their back on China right now.
Yeah.
And shoot, you got the Chinese people protesting, begging for democracy now, because factories are closing left and right.
Yeah.
But of course, the people putting up the big signs in Hong Kong and these other cities are getting arrested right away.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
you
you've been
can't do
watching that?
Yeah, you saw that too.
Yeah, it's like okay.
All right. Now,
It takes balls, by the way that many cameras they got over there.
They have one camera in China for every 2 people in the country.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so you are not getting away with this. And that dude got disappeared so fast, put up them giant, 40-foot banners, right?
Hopefully volunteer that hey, like let me disappear before they make me disappear.
Oh, I bet you I bet they already executed him.
Yeah,
And
probably.
without a trial.
Well, no, they're not gonna waste a body like that. Probably put it in a factory.
Maybe. Or maybe they're gonna send him to the Ukraine front line, because apparently the Ukrainians have been capturing Chinese soldiers over there too.
Mm.
Which I gotta laugh at it, because people are like, that proves China's involved. They're like, oh, so when Russia catches an American mercenary, that means the United States is involved? Like, no,
Exactly.
they're mercenaries.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're
Then
saying
you-
no one in China believes in the cause. They're being forced to do it. So maybe we should crush their economy. Anyway, on that topic though, I don't know Trump's plan on these tariffs. I've been able to see far enough into the future to be able to make a couple quick bucks here and there.
like
know what I mean?
I think he's trying to insulate China from everybody, so cripple it down because he can see the way they're.
China, yes, but the semiconductor chips tariff is about to go into effect.
Because we're building a semiconductor ships in here too.
We're not though.
Yeah, I
We're
thought it
making
was
some. We need to do something to get people to make them here before we tax the crap out of it.
well, probably just gonna incentivize.
Well, Apple's starting to ramp up a production facility in Brazil now to build iPhones.
I don't
Why-
care about.
why
I don't
does-
care about iPhone. Honestly, I don't care about iPhones.
I don't either, but Americans
No, but you
love
care
them.
about your Samsung.
Yeah, I prefer Samsung over Apple. I don't care.
Those are South Korean, dude.
Yeah, and they get
But yeah,
better phone, faster, better technology ahead of the Apple things. You guys could move the freaking apps into just recently, and you
I've
were
been
like,
able to move,
notified.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been able to move apps around on my iPhone forever.
Well, you guys were like, oh, we can relocate apps the way we want to. And like, okay, we've been doing that.
Well,
Since,
that's the thing, is my Android operates just like my desktop, my laptop.
Mhm.
Like, I mentioned this a couple years ago, actually, when I was cracking on Apple. I was like, I get people like Apple. It's easy to use.
I do
It really
honestly.
is. It's so convenient.
My parents need help sometimes about app. I can't. I just can't figure it out, dude.
Well,
Much easier.
my Android, man, I swear to God, I accidentally launched nukes at North Korea once. It was like, oh crap, delete.
I never had an issue with Android. I'm happy with it.
Well,
And
but
my
a lot of
lasts
stuff
longer.
on-
I go
got,
through a lot. I go through a leap years of technology every time I go from one Android to another one. Like, holy shit, this is all new, because I
I'm
never
on a-
I never acquire a new phone whenever a new one comes out.
No. Are you on the Galaxy? Are you using the Galaxy series?
Yeah,
I got the S24 myself.
I do. I still like 11.
Oh no, I love my 24. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. See, I have it. I don't need to jump because I'm still happy with my Galaxy.
Well, last time I did an update was last year. And,
Galaxy A52.
But like I can go swimming down to like 30 meters of this thing and take pictures.
Hey,
know?
I got a Galaxy A52. So you got the S22. You say?
I got the S24 Plus.
Oh, okay.
I spent the extra $100 on the crazy camera.
They create like two fleets of phones. One for like high end, and the other one's like a little bit less.
The
Like
Galaxy S series is the expensive one.
yes, I got a 52, which is the downgrade, like cheaper and affordable. Still, I'm happy with it. I don't need all that bells and whistles,
Well, I like doing super slow-mo video, and I can do that with this thing. Like I got pictures of water drops melting off of icicles and splashing, and you see the ripples and everything. It's really cool. They have videos of them, but anyway, we went off on a tangent because of tariffs and semiconductors.
Yeah,
but we should put suspend this tariff on these semiconductor chips until we give.
at the same time, we don't know what he's doing, what's going on, the information he's getting to.
That's
You
like
know?
what bananas, for example. Like we're putting a tariff on bananas because they're coming from these tropical areas, right?
All of
We don't
them or
grow
specific ones?
well countries. There's a 10% tariff on every country on the planet right now, isn't there?
I think,
No,
the angle is trying to
he
eliminate
lifted
income tax.
them.
He lifted them.
No, not the 10%. He lifted a whole bunch, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's still
He
a ten
kept.
percent blanket.
Yeah, still a 10% blanket, but I think he tried to eliminate the income tax and stuff. So
Yes, but I'm just saying, like we can't grow bananas here unless you have a greenhouse in a
yeah,
hothouse. And let's be real, Americans love bananas, right?
we
Who
went
doesn't
to
love
war.
bananas?
We went to war for bananas, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
we
it's
did topple the country because of bananas too.
it's Banana Republic.
That's where the name came from.
That's exactly where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny
Hey,
because I keep hearing these black folk and Hispanic folk talking trash about white folk going to like Hispanic or like Tex-Mex or Hispanic Mexican restaurants.
mm-hmm.
Like, no, you go back home and you have your mayonnaise and you eat your white people bland food and season it with only salt and pepper. I'm like, bitch, you have any idea how many white people killed to flavor their food?
Yeah.
Like, what is it, the East India Trade Company?
Everything
Was,
started. Everything started because Alexander the Great, dude. That's a fucking fire.
searching for spices.
No, sir, he conquered India. Well, he tried to conquer India, but he couldn't. But he got exposed to spices, and that's what traded the east, the Silk Road.
The Silk
In a way.
Road.
Yeah, in a way.
And then, but I mean, the British took over India for how long?
For a
Yeah.
long time.
For a long time, and were waging wars to bring spices to flavor their food back home.
Yeah.
It's like, trust me, white people know how to spice their food. They'll
No,
kill people for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not lying in there.
And talk trash. I'm telling you,
Hey, no,
go
no,
to Texas and get yourself some barbecue.
They will colonize your ass just to spice
Yeah,
up your-
they will exactly. They will colonize you and make you grow them spices. Because I want paprika, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So
I
apparently,
want my vanilla ass. My vanilla ass wants some vanilla.
Yeah, exactly.
That
I
shit
want some
doesn't
real
go-
vanilla, and let's get some oregano and garlic while we're at it too.
You
all
want to
right?
make fun of my vanilla ass? You know what? Make you grow vanilla. Oh god.
Oh, I'm sorry. It just drives me nuts when people say stuff like these white folks don't know how to flavor food. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
we'll
my
fucking
god.
colonize your ass.
Yeah, exactly. They will take over your country and enslave you to do this. But let's move on, Brian, to Elon greatly reducing the amount of money he's expecting to save through Doge.
I don't care. The more money,
I
I
think
mean,
it's under. I think they overpromise and under-deliver, but we don't know.
Well,
We
yeah,
don't
he
know.
promised $2 trillion in savings, right?
Yeah, but the long run, this is gonna save a lot of money eventually.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is per year too. A lot of this stuff.
At the same time, let's look at it this way. He helped to stop the money laundering that was going on for the Democrat Party, which would end up in trillions of dollars.
Yes. I mean, just the unemployment fraud that we found in Massachusetts, New York, and California was
All those NGOs
millions.
getting money. All the NGOs getting money for the kickback to the Democrat Party.
Yeah, exactly. When they get a grant from the government,
It may
then
not
donate
be.
to the
It
Democrat
may not
Party.
be the instant money, but the long-term money gratification would have been trillions.
Well, yeah, over the next 10 years or the last 10 years versus what happened this last
Oh,
year.
the structure of the U.S. dollar. That would.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, oh, we just print the money. It's like, yeah, but that's why the cost of shit's going up.
Yeah.
Like, the more dollars there are, the less each one is worth, right?
Yep. The more
if
goods
ever-
chasing, the more goods chasing, the more dollars chasing, the fewer goods.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone had a signed rookie Willie Mays card in mint condition, it wouldn't be worth garbage, would it?
Mm-hmm.
But there's only a couple of them in existence, and they're worth millions of dollars.
Yeah, and I think it's like all the, you know how the McDonald's stores sometimes like worth millions of dollars and stuff like that. There's a history behind it, because let's say, for instance, this kid whose parent couldn't afford nothing, and they just bought one McDonald toy, one McDonald toy. He grew up with it, and it got lost. Well, this kid, he appreciated the value of money. He understood, like, you know what, things are not forever, but let me like, he became a millionaire. So he saw the same toy that nobody used and stick in that condition. Like, you know what? That reminds me of my childhood. Let me get that back. He can afford paying millions of dollars just for that particular toy. Does
Yes.
not mean that. Does that mean every freaking McDonald's toy that come out now is going to be worth millions of dollars in the future?
No, and this is a huge mistake people made in the 90s with Beanie Babies.
Yeah, they thought it was going to be worth.
Everyone, it's gonna be worth a ton of money.
No, because for that person, that significant toy, it means nothing because he could afford billions of dollars for it.
Well, but the thing is with the Beanie Baby craze too was everyone was saving them. So
Yeah.
they weren't worth anything because there was a ton of them.
Yeah.
There's no one person who spend $1 million for that one Beanie Baby because everyone had
Right.
20 of them.
Yeah.
Like, I held on to a bunch of them, and not because I thought they were worth money, because I thought some of them were cool when I was a kid. I only bought the quote tough ones,
Yeah.
like a rhinoceros and a snake that actually wrapped around stuff, and like a bat and cool
Yeah.
that had little Velcro for his wings so he could hold on to stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And I had a big fight scene when I was a kid.
But that's the thing. Like,
I let my 5-year-old play with them now.
Yeah, you say that thing, and somebody in the future, like, you know what? My parents couldn't afford me nothing, but they bought me that one bitty tiny baby, the tiny thing, and now they got millions of dollars. I could buy that, and I will pay whatever price it is for it.
But you don't need to because everyone has all these Beanie Babies.
Yeah, no, but I said, yeah.
But there's
now-
only one McDonald's toy that around
Yeah.
worth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it was worth so
And
much.
that's what people think, like, oh, it's gonna be worse. Like, no, it's just the way nature falls, you know.
Yeah, and something's only worth what someone will pay. The same argument I made last week about the housing markets are going to crash when the boomers die off.
Yeah, you want, yeah.
Oh, think of this, like houses up in Massachusetts, for example. Like, I grew up in a decent home, sold it for $640, right?
God
Uh,
damn.
yeah. Oh, dude,
4
2
bedrooms.
towns. Yeah, and a basement. 2 bathrooms, 4-acre swimming pool. But 2 towns over in Situate, which you might have actually seen Situate on the map when it comes to weather forecasts in Massachusetts when you see storms coming. It's a
Yeah.
major coastal town. Those houses are worth 6 times as much, and they're smaller, and they're on fucking stilts. This tide comes in under the houses. And I'm like, you guys are freaking nuts.
Yeah.
But who's going to buy in 10 years when the rest of these boomers have, for the most part, moved on, and their children, Gen X, millennial, maybe even some Gen Zers, inherit these houses worth $6 million.
Damn.
Who's going to spend $6 million on this house?
Nobody.
Yeah.
No, because no one has that money, right?
Yeah.
So the
The value's
property
gonna
is
drop.
value just exactly. It's going to fall to garbage because you're already living in somewhere else, and you're going, well, I just inherited a $6 million house. Shit, put it on the market for 6, and it doesn't sell. So boom, all right, 5.5, 5, all the way down to $800,000 from a $6 million home, and you're still having trouble selling that because no one has $800,000. Because let's be real, the boomers own, what is it, 50% of the stocks and bonds right now,
Yeah.
and millennials, I think, own 3 to 4%. Gen X has 20%, and then the rest of it is split up amongst everyone else. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Which makes me realize I've done way better planning for retirement than anyone else my age. I actually got money stowed away.
Yeah. I've been thinking about, do I want more house or less house, more land? Because
You want more land, it's finite.
yeah, you could just spend outside, open space, just enjoy yourself.
Hey, Guapo, if you have a couple bucks, for example, sell that acre you got, you're going to grow hops on, right?
I was trying to, but things went. Yeah, go ahead.
Can't get rid of it, right?
No, just money right now. It's just tight.
That's what I'm saying. Is
Sell the land.
Sell that plot of land, and there's a plot out here, 98 acres for $95,000.
Should be on my budget, but
Well,
no,
I'm just,
my parents gonna move down from Connecticut, move into my property, and just build a house.
You've been saying that for years.
That they've been telling me that for years too.
well, hey, if they do that, man, let them build the house themselves,
Yeah,
right?
and I thought,
And still
like,
your
look,
property.
yeah, like, look, you don't have to pay me nothing. Just pay the property tax. That's all.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I'm saying if you buy this giant plot of land out here,
Mhm.
an 30 minutes from me, it's
Mhm.
undeveloped, but there's enough flat land on this mountainside. You could put even a trailer,
Mhm.
right? Now you don't necessarily have to live there. Rent it out to hunters,
Yeah.
and they'll 95K for 98 acres. Dude, that's
You could make it your primary residence.
Oh, like a
yeah.
fucking Leticia James.
Yes, exactly like Leticia James.
Yeah. Then I have to get a knock on the door by that fucking.
I'm just saying, dude,
IRS.
that's a lot of land that you could put 3 or 4 hunting cabins on that much land and still be safe to hunt on.
Mm.
And have 3 or 4 guys coming out there go hunting. Set up some ATV trails for your hunters, and then also have like a fucking terrain park type thing for ATV riders on the mountainside. So you can have people coming year round. You can even have snowmobiles tearing around in the winter, you know? And you know what? How's this? Hire me to be property maintenance. I'll go out there and make sure everything's working every now and then.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'd like to introduce back once again our repeat offender who appears to have had a haircut or shaved or something. Trimmed his beard, maybe?
G'day, lads. Nah, just has a little trim up on the sides.
Oh, you got a
All right,
mullet?
all right.
You got a mullet?
Yeah, he's got a mullet.
Oh, that's
No,
He's making
got a
mullets
George
great
Carlin.
again.
he got a Coachella in the background over there.
Yeah, brother.
no,
Party at the back, business at the front.
Yeah.
that's not a mullet, though. He's got the George Carlin. He's bald on the top and long in the back.
He's a mullet, boys.
Oh,
It's the
God.
old
How
man's
we been? Anyway,
mullet.
happy
Hey,
Easter, lad. Happy
Hey,
Easter.
careful with that. Careful, there's anaconda behind you.
You in a greenhouse?
Oh wow.
I've
You got a
got
greenhouse?
upstairs, mate. I'll get some head soon. I've got some head soon to see if they got tits or not.
Oh, ticks. Oh.
Jeez, I just had to de-tick my dogs because they went out for like 2 days. Oh my God, the ticks, dude. Not kidding you. I must have pulled 40 ticks off my dogs, and I went and put all that medicine on them right after that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Careful with Lyme disease, dude. There's one here, Virginia, Hampton Roads area. If you get bit and you get Lyme disease, you're not allowed to. You cannot eat meat after that. You have to
Oh
eat
yeah. I know a girl I grew up with, a woman now. She has issues with certain meats, and
Yeah.
she sweats like this black goo.
Oh shoot.
And it's not like sweat, but like it seeps out of her skin like
Gelatin.
oils come out of your skin, but it's black.
Well, Trump's still trying to cut the federal government workforce. Now he's trying to figure out ways to get rid of career employees. That's why he's creating a new policy that he's going to classify the workers at will.
They already are at will. You work at the leisure of the president, right?
Yeah.
No, you work at the pleasure of the union.
There should be no union for the federal government.
What? Fire the entire union. That's the entire union. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Hey,
we'll hire
everyone-
new people.
Yeah, hire them again.
We'll hire the guy who wants to make money.
Yeah.
Well, you saw he came out with a new executive order this week.
Oh, this is garbage. Are you kidding me? No, they're so fucking worried about fees, dude, that the judge said, hey, Trump, you got to tell these guys weren't fired because they sucked at their job.
Well, that's true. And then they also came out and said that if you're writing policy and you don't agree with my policy, you're gone.
Yeah, you're allowed to disagree with policy. Yeah. You just
but if you're writing policy,
oh well,
if they have a job writing policy for the government and they don't agree with Trump, they need to find a different job.
Hold on. I thought they were policy. I thought isn't that like almost like law, like one cut hair away from law?
No, policy is the way you intend to run things. Law is stuff that went through Congress.
So if you don't like the way they run things and you don't agree with it, what will happen to you?
He's saying he wants to fire him.
No, no,
And
no, no. You as a policy maker, you create a policy, and I don't agree with you. I don't follow it. As a civilian, what would happen to me?
You go to jail.
So isn't that almost like a cut hair away from law?
Yeah.
Not really. Policy is like this is what it's supposed to be, and you hope the laws come behind.
So it's almost like law.
No, it's more like we're gonna fire all these people because we don't like
No,
what
no,
they're
no, no, no,
doing.
no, no, no. He's saying law. Trump is telling these people if you write policy that doesn't agree with him.
Yeah.
Oh, write policy, you'll be fired. Because
Yeah.
if you're writing the policy, you're disagreeing with the president's policy.
Yeah,
Now, it's one thing to disagree with the president,
yeah.
but
But
as long as
why?
you're doing your
Why they
job
making
properly,
policy? Policy is almost like one cut hair away from law.
I hear what you're saying, but ideally it leads to laws being passed in the future.
So
More or less, policy is like
it's-
this is how we're going to handle
that's
what's happening.
that's the fucking job of Congress, and that's supposed to be a job of the president
Yeah,
or anybody in the executive branch.
Exactly. Policy is more about here's how we're going to do things. Here's how we're going to handle stuff. This is our policy on terrorism versus this is the law on terrorism. Our policy is we're going to arrest you. We're going to put you in prison for 20 years. The law
it's not
is
law.
you're not allowed
But
to
it's not
do
law.
that.
So like
No,
like,
but the law is you're not allowed to be a terrorist.
yeah. All right.
Well, he could have done Joe Biden and said we're not going to incarcerate anyone for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's the policy.
All right. I just
More or less, policy is the way you carry out the law. How's that?
all right. I see.
Like the president doesn't write the law. He only the executive executes
He's supposed to
the law.
enforce it.
Yeah, executes the law.
No. Enforce it. He not.
Well, same thing.
Okay.
No, it is. Well, execution is to carry out.
Yes, to do it, but no matter whether you like it or not, you're supposed to enforce it.
Sorry, Brian. When you click down budget, I had a subtopic that automatically clicked down with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I guess the White House, their new policy, which is not a law, just the way they're carrying this out.
Yes, I just think in-house policy.
Yeah,
but
yes.
if you write a policy will affect me as a citizen, then it's almost like a law.
Well, the policy the White House has put out now is if you put pronouns in your bio as a reporter,
They're going to ignore you.
They're not even going to listen to you. They don't care. Even if you're a dude and you put he, him, like, no, there's no need to put that. Your name is James Comey.
No. Hey, hold on. Isn't that grounds for firing? Because apparently you don't know English language structure. Like,
well,
which one are you?
The reporters of the White House don't work for the White House.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misheard.
But all their emails say he, him, he, they, she, be, he. You know,
okay, I thought you were talking about the secondary branch of people contact each other, something like that. No, my bad. Continue.
Wasn't it a beautiful day the other day? Did you see what Caitlin Collins got put in place?
I saw Caitlin Collins rip a handful of people apart recently, and it was hilarious, especially when France wanted the douchebag in France wanted the Statue of Liberty back, and she's like, "I just want to remind this asshole that if it wasn't for the United States, he'd be speaking German." I was like, "Oh, damn!"
Yeah, this is like, hold up. This is not the first time I heard that. Somebody else did it like years ago, before Trump and everything. The French one are like, they're fucking ungrateful little bitches, dude.
That was like 200 and something years ago.
Yeah, but they're ungrateful. They sound like a bunch of Indian givers. I'm sorry.
I was gonna use that word. I really was, and I was gonna bring up how everyone was all upset that these natives wanted their land back like 5 years later when they realized what happened. This is 240 something years ago, and these guys we want it back. It's like, bitch, you had your chance to have a fight with us. You had a fight with us, actually. The French and Indian War, remember?
Yep.
Here we go. Repeat offender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mate.
Who did the United States face in the French and Indian War?
Sorry, mate?
Who did the United States face in the French and Indian War?
Mate, that was back in the late 1700s, 1800s, wasn't it?
It was maybe early 1800s. Yes, it was shortly after the Revolution. Yes, and I don't expect you to know American history super well.
I'm pretty sure, like you said, the French was the French and who else was it? I know you
The
said the
Indians.
Indian.
The French and
Yeah,
the
but
natives were fighting, were trying to take over the United
yeah,
States.
but there was also someone else, wasn't there too?
That was it the British?
No, the British were not
There
involved in
was
that one.
someone
They were
else.
the War of 1812, where they burned down the White House.
No. But okay, never mind. Yeah.
They did that with Canadians. Well, they
No, the
weren't
Canadian.
Canadians then, because
Yeah,
Canada wasn't really formed back then.
and then
Yeah.
there was a Spanish-American War, which was
Was it
actually like Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Canadian was a part of French still?
No,
No, all the states
Canada,
hadn't signed together. All the Canadian
Canada's
states hadn't
always been
signed the
UK.
agreement.
Was that?
No, Canada's a joint with France and England.
Yes.
By that
But
time?
they were never under French control though.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
French men moved to Quebec.
you talk about Louisiana before the Louisiana purchased all that land with the Native Americans.
Well, that was where the term Indian giver came from, was when they bought the Louisiana Purchase.
That was
And
we bought it
they
from
said
the
the
French.
natives didn't understand what they signed.
No, that was from the French. We bought that from the
You're
French.
right, it
from
was
Napoleon.
Louisiana, all that. You're right.
Yeah, there was
yeah, you
Napoleon.
got Louisiana from the French.
Yeah, Napoleon needed money, and we bought money
To fund his war.
to fund his war, and that's where he got all the money from.
Well, just like Russia keeps talking trash about selling the United States Alaska. They're like, that was a giant mistake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
Which-
and when they say United States conquer all this land, not really. We kind of bought it. If you think about it, after the Revolutionary War, we had the Senate purchase, the Treaty of Hidalgo, and that's when we
Well, don't
purchased. What?
Don't forget about Manifest Destiny.
No. This is after the Hidalgo purchase. After the Mexican American War, we bit Mexico all the way down to Mexico City,
And
we
Texas.
we told them, you know what, we're gonna buy all this land from you. Here's the fucking price. And they accepted.
Well, yeah, we took Texas after the war, which is
Yeah.
interesting because Texas was an independent nation at the time.
Then we bought Canada. From Canada, we bought Washington and Oregon and stuff like that. And after that, Canada, Alaska, and by then we just conquered the islands of Alaska.
Well, that's the thing, though, is everyone seems to think we conquered this nation.
No,
And
we
you're right,
purchased.
we purchased a lot of it, but at the same time, most of this nation was uninhabited at the time.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, whatever. It's gonna go. It's like they thought it's gonna go by the wayside, like every other generation, like 2-3 generations or somebody, it just goes disappear.
Shit, I don't know, man. We still got native tribes and everything out here too.
Yeah, but I said, like, think about it. The only two nations I can think about last the longest, China and England. China's 5,000 years. England's 2,000 years.
Japan's been there forever.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, too. But yeah, other than that, it's like, good luck finding other.
What do you think about
think-
Harvard losing its tax exempt status?
loved it.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a business. You want to get educated? You want to charge money?
Well,
Is
we
it
talked
just
about this last. We talked about this last episode. It's a private school, not a state school.
Yeah, charge money, whatever.
But
They
they
do
do charge
charge
money. They charge a
money.
ton of money.
No.
then they
Tax.
get-
I mean, charge taxes on it, whatever.
But Trump hasn't stopped there. You know, he's talking about signing into signing a bill. Somebody was talking about the other day about stopping from importing overseas students now.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
For now.
Well,
You know what?
hold
I'm
on,
sorry,
hold on, let me put a caveat on this.
Oh, go ahead.
You come here as a foreign national to come to school in the United States because our schools are so great, right?
Mhm.
So great. You have to stay in the country for 10 years and pay taxes on what you've earned after that.
I can see that, yes, but that's not gonna happen.
Same idea as getting citizenship when you join the service.
I see that, but most of the they come in, they get the knowledge to leave, or they stay here forever.
Mhm. I think you
either
look at
or.
it. Sorry, mate.
No. I think it sounds great. We want to spread the knowledge and stuff like that, but I don't know. Just
Problem is our schools don't know what
right
a
now,
man and a woman
right now,
are.
everybody's fucking hating us. So you know what? Stop the hate. Stop
Well,
it.
fine, then stop coming here then.
You know, that's what I said. Like, let it 5-10 years. Let's see what happens. How people like stop. You know, but they say,
You
oh, like,
sound like
would
what
like what you were saying, that sounds good, but you know what? Who's gonna be the next president? He probably stopped
Oh
that.
no, I get it. I'm just saying I like the idea of brain drain. We take the best
Yeah,
and the brightest from the planet and
yeah, but
bring
at the
them
same
here.
time, then at the same time, it's hurting at the international afterwards. You know.
I can
get it.
see value in what Trump's trying to do, but you look at
Yeah,
some of these universities, mate, are breeding contempt for your nation. They're
Oh,
breeding hatred of the Republican Party.
yeah.
You know, and this is why I applauded ICE when ICE went in a couple of those bloody protests. Right, you got a green card, you want to protest? See you later. You're gone.
Exactly. And
Yep.
by the way, I just want to bring up one more time how much I love that we have a man from about as far away on this planet as you can get from me who understands American politics better than most people I knew in Massachusetts where I grew up.
I think
Yep.
that's his hobby. Yeah, that's his hobby.
That's
Oh, I
fine if
just
it's
love
a
it.
hobby. But it's not though, because he's looking around going, the United States does shit, and then Australia follows up usually 5 to 10 years later. Let's see
Oh,
what they're doing
Well,
to see where we're going, right?
did not put.
100%, 100%.
Just like
You look at England now. England is
Virginia,
starting to uprise. England is starting to uprise. They're throwing people in jail in England for Facebook posts.
England's a
Ireland.
fucking mess, dude. The laws they're
Ireland.
passing, they're arresting something like 13 people a day for online posts.
Do you see what they're doing in Ireland now? The people are uprising. Because they've
I'm
still
not
got a few
surprised.
months.
What's going on with Conor McGregor then? Because I'm sure that has something to do with it.
He's going to
probably.
eventually, he'll run for Prime Minister of
If he doesn't go to prison.
Do Ireland? I think British.
Yeah, well, the thing is, mate,
Go ahead.
Repeat offender,
what
what's
they're
up?
doing under the EU agreement, they've got 6 months to go before they with the EU want Ireland to take in all these refugees. Now, what they're doing, the government aren't waiting 6 months; they're starting to bring them all in now. And the Irish people, a lot of girls are starting to be raped over there now. People are being bashed up. Elderly people are being
like what's
bashed by all
happening
these
in
people
England,
they're
right?
brought in. So the Irish people said, right, we've got 6 months, and you do it before the 6 months.
Well,
No,
just look
this
like
is
it's
an
been going on
island.
in England for like 10 years with these rape
And all
gangs.
these locals, mate, they're blowing up. And now people in England are now starting to fight back about all this sort of stuff. There's a few parties that are going to, because they've got elections coming up very shortly.
Yeah, but Tommy Robinson keeps going to jail, doesn't he?
And if you say anything about him, like you look at Tommy Robinson. I don't know if you guys know Tommy.
I literally just
He
said,
just
look at
had
Tommy
his appeal
Robinson who
knocked
keeps
back
going to
to
jail.
shorten his sentence.
I think he's on a delay.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but he just lost his appeal to get out.
He should leave the country and get the fuck out. And Carl Benjamin should leave the country too.
Yeah, but dude, what? Like, I think he want to stand his ground and fight, much as he can politically.
Yeah, but I
But,
understand
dude,
why you want
know
to
what?
fight for your country, but
I know,
come
but
on,
you
man.
know what? The British belongs to the British, and all these
Yeah, but
people
you see,
foreign
that's what's so great about our country, dude, is I can move away from something I don't like.
Yeah, but we still
No, hold up.
Mhm.
Far enough away to be like 3 European nations, but still be in the United States, not just at the same region of the United States.
Yeah, this is the blessing you got with being born here. They don't.
Oh, it's a greatest nation on the planet. It's enormous. We're allowed to have different opinions, and we have ocean privilege.
This is England, 2,000-year history, dude. Almost the second longest history besides China and Japan. And of course, they're gonna stand fight. But, you know, political wise, not literally fight. You know about. And I think they need to close the border. Like if they get still control of what's going on over there in England, they need to close the border for at least 150 to 100 years to like self, repopulate themselves and just.
Well, that's what
Too many foreigners, dude. Like it's just England's not gonna be England. And with this, we owe to England the Magna Carta, which is almost like the footprint for the fucking Constitution and stuff like that.
Oh,
See, the same thing's happened here in Australia. This is what it's pretty hard. You guys got a lot going on. You probably don't realise what's happening in the rest of the world, especially in English.
We're paying attention. Trust me.
We've got an election coming up. Yeah, we've got our federal election coming up in a few weeks' time. And the biggest problem is in Australia at the moment, we've just allowed 700,000 people, like the number's not mean much to you guys, but a population of 25 million, it's big numbers, you know what I mean?
So
Right.
We
Yeah.
just allowed 700,000 immigrants in to the country, and we've got 122,000 people homeless. It doesn't make sense.
So right there, you wouldn't have any homeless.
Yeah.
Had these people not showed up.
And the Labor Party, which is like the Democrat Party, want to allow another 1-something million people in over the next 3 years.
Well, here's the
Where
problem.
we can
I
fit 'em.
genuinely see with this.
Our infrastructure's bursting at the seams.
Well, the thing is, white people aren't reproducing right now. I don't know if you've
No.
noticed this. They're
Yeah,
not replenishing the population. This is an argument I got into with
they're going their own selfish ways.
Brian, Sean's mother. I got in an argument with her online about Social Security. I paid into it. I deserve it. Yada yada. I was like, yes, I am not disagreeing with you, but it's a Ponzi scheme, and she went off on me. I was like, it's a literal Ponzi scheme. For every one person collecting Social Security benefits, you need 2.5 more people moving into the workforce. It literally has to grow out like a pyramid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we're inviting all of these foreign nationals into our nation for so long, is because we have to replenish the work population. Because you told young Betty that she's a boss bitch and doesn't need to have kids until she's 45, and then she turns 45 and realizes she already went through menopause and can't have babies.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I had 2 kids. That's replenishment. That's not expanding at all.
You worship 2.5. It should be 2.5.
Yes, well,
one for the government. One for you, one for the wife, one for the government.
Yeah, one for the government.
Well, the Republicans are reproducing at a faster rate, which will explain why Gen Alpha is so right-leaning right now.
Okay.
I think,
they're being raised by Republicans.
No. Or there could be like every generation rebels against the status quo, and the status quo,
which is Joe Biden and the Democrats.
Yeah,
for so long.
Yeah, so like, you know what? I don't like this deal, and they're getting red pill without the internet, and it's revolted at their own.
Back on the trans stuff for a minute here.
Okay.
I think in certain demographics too, you know, like people are turning away from the Democrats because you look at the Latino family setup. A lot of the Latinos, like, it's starting from the parents going down the kids now. They're starting to turn away from the Democrats. They're starting to see what they're really like because they're not getting.
Yes, very much. And
now the children are picking up on that.
Yeah.
And think of this: who is the most famous on the planet for having
Trump?
No.
He's more famous than the Pope.
For having too many children.
Oh, the Mexicans.
Mate.
Okay. I was going to say Catholics. Christians in general, but Catholics, right?
Yeah, the Catholics too.
Yeah. They'll have 9 kids because they don't believe in birth control, right?
I think they do, but they don't believe in abortion.
They don't believe in abortion, but an IUD is the same idea as an abortion, the way it works.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Well, it prevents a fertilized egg from implanting on the uterine wall.
Yeah.
So
I think I don't know. I think the Catholic Church would be more against the Plan B than the IUD.
No, they are far more against Plan B, but the IUD, intrauterine device, prevents the fertilized egg after conception. From embedding. Once you fertilize the egg, that's conception.
Oh, okay. So it was
the
after.
DNA's mixed.
I thought that was prevent before.
No, and no, exactly. So it's fertilized. You have conception. You have new DNA, but it prevents the uterine lining from accepting
because the IUD is in a way like a goalkeeper.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And versus like the pill, which tricks your body into thinking that you're already pregnant, so you don't ovulate.
Oh, it's kicking. What is it?
Or it can't.
Menstrual cycle. It kicks in the menstrual cycle, so you flush it out.
Yeah. No, actually, the pill doesn't even do that. It actually prevents fertilization from happening.
Oh, okay.
The after pill does, but
Plan B,
morning after pill typically kills the fertilized embryo.
Gets rid of it, kicks it out.
I thought my information was Plan B was it kicks into your menstrual cycle. That's why it does.
Yeah, you have a fertilized ovum.
Yeah.
and it goes
No,
ahead and
because
kills it and
okay,
pushes
okay.
it
Let me
out.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. How from sex to fertilization, how long does it take to travel to the uterus?
Up to 3 days to find an egg.
So if you get plan B, that means before
Possibly, but it might already be fertilized, and now you
within.
went and did something to kill it. And
I mean,
Catholics don't believe in killing a
So
human
let's say
life.
for instance you had sex on Friday night. You got to Monday to take the after pill before insemination, before
No,
fertilization.
possibly, but
Yeah.
the fertilization might have happened in an hour and a half.
So that your semen can be that quick to reach a fucking uterus.
Well, no, you just have to find the uterus is
No, I mean to find the egg.
the uterus is at the other side of the cervix, dude.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused right now.
So,
but I say like from sex to find the egg it usually take like 72 hours.
Up to
72 hours. But
it
you
could
tell me
be a half hour if it was right there.
if it's
But
right
you're not
there.
playing C. But you're not playing
And-
C's for safe sex.
Was that?
Make sure
abstinence.
your husbands, your neighbours' husbands, just going to work instead of just coming home from work.
Yeah.
So you,
right.
what do you
Moving
think?
on.
Is your brother and your dad going to be voting for the Miss Maine contest?
My brother and father live in Vermont, but
Oh, sorry, I thought it was
they
Maine.
do border.
They do border.
They do.
So they won't be voting for Bill
No.
Belichick or the other person that's the contestant.
Well, first of all, you see Bill Belichick. Does everyone know who Bill Belichick is?
Yeah, 74 years old.
Well, he is the winningest NFL coach of all time.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls did he win with the New England Patriots?
I don't know.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Like
now he's going to win a bunch of national champions at UNC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, this dude.
And he's winning at life. You see his hot girlfriend?
Yeah, and now she's going to compete in a beauty contest against a trans dude in Maine.
Dude, he's gonna win it because everybody's gonna ball.
Well,
because of Belichick.
The guy applied for the contest before Trump put out his executive order. So,
all right. I mean, I understand grandfather.
And this is Maine. No, this is Maine. They're not following the rules at all.
Hold on.
The Department of Justice is suing the state of Maine because of this shit.
No. This beauty contest is a school related or no?
It's private.
It's a beauty contest for
it's a private thing.
Chapter 9
can do what they want.
It's something like Trump used to run.
Miss America, Miss Universe.
America, yeah. But this
it's
doesn't
a private thing. They can
do whatever the fuck they want. Yeah. I don't care. Whatever. They do whatever they want to do. I don't care.
You want to let a dude in with an Adam's apple and stubble as the pretty lady.
Remember, the apple leads to the banana.
Yeah. I was unprepared for that one, dude. But let's be real. Let's be 100% fair here, right? Do you think Blair White could win a beauty competition?
I don't know who's that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Blair White is a very famous trans YouTuber, male, boy to girl, but actually went through with it. Like did the surgeries, everything, the hormones, actually looks like a beautiful woman. And I'm going to admit, it makes me feel very uncomfortable looking at this person.
Does she look like the Victoria's Secret cover photo?
I don't know, honestly, but
the one we got in trouble for.
That was the one with Down syndrome, dude.
You used to be a football player?
No. Blair White.
Blair White.
BLAIRE space White.
Like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is gonna be nuts because Guapo's gonna be like, that's a dude. I see, look at the face. He's like, yeah, that's a dude. It makes you feel uncomfortable, doesn't it?
I may be homo, dude. I don't know. Dude, like, damn.
Might give that a go if I didn't know better.
Dude, I would keep that shit a secret, dude.
You can pass.
You can pass.
No, exactly though. It's like, well, again, that's the people that are actually putting in there, and Blair might actually be able to win a beauty contest, right?
Hold on.
Guapo.
Blair, Claire.
You don't think
Maybe
Blair could
question
win
about
the?
sexuality sometimes. Like, I don't know.
Hey, you can admit a man
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
picky without
he
being
did his
gay.
like, he did what he did. She did her job. You know what? Good for her. You know.
And it's funny because Blair White
Mhm.
is as far right as our dirty tranny friend, Claire.
Yeah.
No, like this is what she does. Blair is go on and like, you guys are fucking stupid. It's like, yeah, I identify as a woman, I live as a woman, but I still have XY chromosomes. You know, it's like if I don't take this medication every day, I grow a fucking beard. You know.
Yeah, and that's one good reason about the army, isn't it? Sort of like your defence forces about what Trump's trying to do there.
Yeah, and the judge who came in and it was like, no, the Constitution says all people are created equal, and that means all. It's like, first of all, it doesn't say all people are created equal. It says all men are created equal. So if we're gonna quote it, let's quote it.
Yeah.
Second of all, you said if all means all,
Yeah. All
that means
means
you're gonna no,
include men and women too. So
no. What about the schizophrenic paraplegic? Should they be in the Marine Corps?
no.
No. And why not? Because they're not qualified to do the job, right?
Yeah.
There's
That's
something like
100%.
42. Yeah, it's like 42 things in the DSM-5 that prohibit you from joining the service. And then like another 1,000 things medically, like flat-footedness.
Well, what keeps you from
or
joining?
diabetes?
What keeps you from becoming an astronaut?
You got to actually go into space.
Well, technically speaking, they went into space.
Yeah,
according
it's only a ride.
In terms of what we all agree is. But thing is, what's her name? Oh my God,
Katy
I'm
Perry.
saying her name. No, the black reporter lady.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What Kelly? Not Kelly. Something Kelly.
Kelly. No, not Kellyanne Conway. Oh my God.
Gina Kelly. No, Grace.
Gail King.
Gail King. Oh my
King.
God.
I knew there was Gina K in there.
She was all butters. Like, they're not treating me like I'm an astronaut. They said I took a ride. I was like, you did take a ride. You went on an amusement park ride.
It was an 11-minute journey.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
It was an Uber ride.
I bet it was fucking awesome.
And
right?
Katy Perry even sang while the thing was going on.
It was
but it wasn't a
Uber
Katy
ride.
Perry song. It was a Louis Armstrong song.
It was an Uber ride. But
Uber
even opened the door
nowhere.
But I would pay a ton of money to go on that. I would pay to go on that ride too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if I had the money to spend.
Open the door?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Trust me. Right after this next thing, I'm gonna blow a hole in the door thing. But there's other stuff that agrees with that theory. But Katy Perry apparently pissed off. The people in the shuttle with her were pissed off because she kept singing, breaking into song.
Right.
But it wasn't a Katy Perry song.
No.
It was an old Louis Armstrong song.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember the name.
I
Oh my God, you do know who Louis Armstrong is?
Yeah.
What a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world.
Yeah.
He wasn't seeing the green from up there.
Now, if she got a deep voice like that, now we have to question Katy Perry.
Is this what a woman is?
Was she taking over? Was she taking over?
Probably change it like they do the Star Spangled Banner, to make it fit their needs.
And the funny thing is, Louis Armstrong was one of the greatest, 1950s jazz musicians. That was very, very black.
Even earlier.
It might have been earlier. But
I think it said the song was popular in the 40s.
Okay, I know it was in the movie. I know it was in the movie with what a Wonderful Life. What was the one when you wish Christmas didn't happen or whatever, or the market was crashing? Yeah, the market was crashing and he worked. Oh shit!
Scrooge?
No, it was black and white.
Miracle on 31st.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, way before that, dude.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. It's a great Christmas movie. You should watch that this year if you haven't seen it.
Have they colorized it yet? I only watch colorized movies.
I don't think you're allowed to say colored anymore.
Didn't they
Actually, apparently you are, because there's people of color now. So how is that not the same thing as colored people? But yeah, she kept singing "What a Wonderful World." And they're like, Stop singing this. Oh God.
Well, the conspiracy theorists are out in force. They're saying that they never even went in space.
Okay. Now this is what repeat offender brought up with the door. It's a pressurized capsule, right?
Yeah.
To have pressure in space, and the door only opens outwards, which is why someone has to show up with a tool to unlock it.
Yeah.
Unless you're Katy Perry.
Yes. Hold on. Since
She's
Apollo
got
2,
the skills and the
hold
muscle.
hold on.
Use the blockbuster card.
I think she's using Discover now.
The deep voice came back and, hey, let me get out of here.
Well, since 1991, after the Apollo 2 mission, where all the astronauts burned alive inside the capsule because of a fire, there is now a regulation that you must be able to open these doors from the inside within a minute. So this was a long time ago. This is a national policy, not just NASA. Like, if you're gonna do a shuttle thing in the United States, it must be openable from the inside in case of emergency from the inside.
Yeah.
That being said, it takes a while to go through the whole process and do it because it's pressurized. And if the thing is, the door should still open outward, not inward, right? Because if it opens inward and then you have the pressure of the atmosphere smacking against you, that door's gonna come smacking in and hit you like the boom on a sailboat when you're coming about, right?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I know. The wife still bitches about it. It's hilarious. But I have better evidence for you as to why these guys never actually went into space. And no, they did not achieve orbit. But a better reason why they didn't actually do this, there were no scorch marks on the shuttle from falling back to Earth.
Yeah, because they didn't go that high.
They got special paint.
Special paint. Are you fucking Elon Musk's shuttle that just came back was all burned up? And you said they didn't go that high. They still technically left the Earth's atmosphere, which is beyond wherever. So you're still going to hit terminal velocity, smashing through the oxygen of the atmosphere, and it's going to scorch shit on the hull of the vessel.
Maybe the design of the capsule, that's aerodynamics, makes it so the scorch marks don't show up.
Dear God, the last thing you want is aerodynamic. How do you slow down if it's aerodynamic?
Check out another thing too, lads. Check out the window spaces from the outside and have a look at the images from the inside of the capsule. Completely two different spaces apart, window wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if this is real or not. It was a giant publicity stunt, and opening the door early.
All female crew.
Was because the women couldn't handle sitting in that hot capsule. And so they opened the door to let the air
kiss
go.
The ground because they've been gone so long. They've been gone forever.
It landed on the ground, not in the water, too.
Yeah, because you never know if we're gonna fail now.
Is that even a thing?
That's a good question, but apparently they land on the ground now, not in the ocean. Because isn't that what you do? Because it's less hard.
Or you never know where it's gonna land. You don't want to land on somebody's house or something. Anyways, let me ask you this: if you go to space, don't you usually wear helmets or something because you never know?
If you were going to do that, you'd have to have a whole suit on the whole time. So, like, no, the guys in the ISS.
Yeah, this is the tourist mission.
No, but the tourist. Oh, so you get tight skin fucking suits and stuff showing your titties.
Yeah. Well, the tight skin suit is just for blood.
But you don't fucking show your cleavage, no.
Well, no, because that actually undoes the whole point of the tight suit if you go ahead and unzip it, right?
Yeah,
just like a G suit for a pilot.
But I said because if let's suppose you go up to space, you never know what's gonna happen. You wear a helmet so protect you from burns or something like that.
Well, nah.
Just like radiation, basically, too.
They're flying on a phallic symbol. They don't need a helmet.
But the guys in the ISS aren't wearing. The guys in the ISS.
No. When they go in and out, transit in and out, they have to wear helmets.
Oh, coming back down?
Yeah, in and out.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Technically, especially
it would mess up.
When you're a pilot, you go up. You still have to wear a helmet because you know your oxygen and stuff like.
Wouldn't your hair rise? When your hair still spin?
That's what got me too. Is like, oh, we saw them in zero gravity. I was like, you can do that in an airplane from like 10,000 feet by simply falling,
Yeah.
and then you float inside the capsule, inside the plane, because the plane's moving down as fast as you are, right?
They didn't release that video until after the orbiter was on the ground. They didn't
and did
have
you see-
live video in there.
Of course not. And did you hear them all screaming like a bunch of bitches when the
Because they
parachutes
are
kicked out?
bitches.
And then Katy Perry, she was technically in space for
I
11
thought the
minutes,
rocket.
right?
Yeah.
But no, she
no,
gets
4
out and
minutes.
kisses the ground.
Yeah. She was gone forever.
Dear God, I went to sea for 8 months. I spent 6 months at sea without port visits. I didn't kiss the earth when I got. Actually, you know what I did? I wobbled around all funny for about 15 minutes because I couldn't get my land legs back. And you know what I'm
Right.
talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ground's not moving back and forth all the time. This is weird. She kissed the ground. I was like, oh, I want to slap you so hard.
I thought it was the scene from the Thunderbirds.
I was about to compare it to the Pope, but the Pope is just blessed the country he's landing on. Like, hey, look, I'm the Pope.
Oh, that's the Pope. Yeah, that's
yeah.
the
He
Pope.
like it was blessed the country he's on it, you know. But that's different.
Yeah, versus I missed Earth so
I
much.
miss Earth so much for 4 minutes. And she, you saw the interview. She's like high on fucking acid, dude. Like, whatever you on.
King was like, they don't say the men went on a ride. It's like, no, because they operated the fucking vessel.
All right, let me ask
you. They went and did science experiments.
Look,
women with them that were astronauts. You're no fucking astronaut.
Let's say, for instance, I fixed my brakes on my vehicle. Like, I changed the path and everything. Hell, like, hey, man, I'm going for a ride just to make sure this shit works. You want to go ride with me? Like, yeah, sure, whatever. We go for
fucking. I got help.
We go for stupid little missions like that. We don't say let's go for a test. No, let's go for a ride. See if this shit works. Because before I need it for the day I go to work, I don't want to find out this thing's not working on the day I gotta go to work.
Thing is, they didn't even do the repairs to do the ride. They went on the roller coaster.
Yeah,
someone else is doing the maintenance and operating.
Man. Most of them, man.
Most of them, yes, but I will say that there are a lot of women involved in our space program. And
not a lot of stem cells, not that many, but there are a few, yeah.
No, not necessarily going into space. We have a handful.
Oh, yeah, no, astronaut. Yeah, we got astronaut. Yes, we got astronaut females, yes. The smart females, they go through that shit.
There were a whole bunch of actual women that were involved in the moon landing. That all they did was sit there with a paper and pencil and crunch numbers. So they knew how much fuel to put in the fuel tank and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You lads are still overlooking two valuable things out of all this. One, it was the most expensive Uber ride. 2, they were full of female drivers and they still had a crash landing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, well, I mean, and also think of a booby bounce with zero gravity.
Wait, hold on. This is like silicone, like, if you go to zero gravity, the silicone, I don't know how many of them got silicone breast implants.
Are you trying to think of it expands and pops? Like
because that's why you got a lot of the chips that come with a lot of extra air. Because that happened to a truck driver went into like high altitude, all the chips pop, and that's why they put a little bit extra air on there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about all that. I've heard of a single case when it happened with silicone implants on a plane, but there was something wrong with the implants done. It sounds like you're talking about decompression sickness, like the bends.
Lack of pressure, it will actually expand the breast and pop.
Well, okay, hold on. Then why doesn't that happen to the nitrogen in your blood going into orbit like it does coming up from the bottom of the ocean too quickly?
No, because there's less pressure. You're right. I can see that. You
go
from from 1G to 0G.
That's only a 1G.
Yeah,
difference.
But when you go from 5Gs to like 0G, yeah,
you gotta take your time and you gotta do the up and down and
that's from deep water, not from 1 to 0. But if we're going from 5,
in case anyone doesn't understand what we're talking about, because I'm very happy that someone knew what it was. Decompression sickness, or the bends, is you dive down deep and the nitrogen bubbles in your blood compress, but nitrogen expands and contracts at a different rate than like everything else. So it's not a big deal when it contracts, but it slowly swells back out when you stay at the same depth, the same pressure. And if you go up too quickly to less pressure, the nitrogen expands and basically causes like a
Nitrogen
heart
can-
palpitation where it's trying to compress gases instead of pumping your blood.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
get into a heart and they'll just die.
Yeah,
And
then your
that's
heart
what
stops. They'll put you in an iron lung to change the pressure on your body to survive this. It's crazy. It's a crazy weird thing that I feel horrible for the first man who found out this is a thing. You know what I
but
mean?
I say, but this is coming from 5G to 1G,
Versus, well, yeah, for
1G
exactly.
to 0.
Well, maybe it's the same difference that you need just because silicon expands differently. And by the way,
Lads, it's been good. I've got to get back to work.
All right.
They don't.
Sorry,
They
lads.
don't.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Happy
thanks for
Easter.
coming by, bud.
Happy Easter, lads, and I'll catch us next week.
All
Happy
right.
Easter.
No worries, lads. Thanks a lot.
All right, no problem, man. Enjoy your day.
But silicon expands differently, but that might be the same thing with nitrogen. It needs to be a bigger pressure difference to be an issue.
Mm.
All right. Well, we don't do video on this anymore. But did you guys see the San Diego video? Which one you guys sent me? This one?
The
Elephants?
zoo.
Yeah.
Oh, the earthquake. Yeah. Did I send that? No, I thought it was.
I didn't send it. I don't think.
All right. Well,
I
someone
did.
sent it to me. I know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched the video.
Uh-huh.
There's an earthquake in San Diego, and it was beautiful what these elephants in the zoo did.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, I guess they get through the feet of the leg, through the feet, they get a lot of sensory what's going on Earth, and that's what happened. They're like, hey, we don't know what's going on. I don't know, so many earthquakes in
Well,
Africa.
they had a natural reaction to this, and it was gorgeous. Because no, they grabbed the babies
and they put
and
in
they
the
put them
mirrors.
in the middle, and then all of them backed up with their butts to the babies, facing out in a different direction, ready to face whatever threat was coming.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because it could have been like, hey, there's a
It could've
stampede
been
or something.
stampede. Exactly. And I was like, these elephants are ready. Fuck all of you. Meanwhile, COVID happened here, and we sacrificed the young for the elderly. But these older elephants are ready to die to protect the babies, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe we need some more Bushido code in here. The Japanese honor system.
Oh, you heard about the old Japanese people? Actually
the
happened.
Fukushima?
No, the is that the power plant? They just cut
the
on
nuclear
the
power
tsunami.
plant, Fukushima.
Yeah, to turn it off, and they just died because they knew they're like, hey, this is my end.
Yeah, the oldest people who were still capable went and fixed the problem.
Yeah,
because hey, I've lived long enough, and I don't want to die, but my children need to live longer than I do.
Yeah, sacrifice it all for the new, and that's actually that's in the system too. That's why you see a lot of older people. They leave the house back in the day, feudal Japan. They used to leave the house and then when they just die somewhere.
Yeah, like a cat when it turns 13, just goes out in the woods and hopes to get eaten by something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's the way the Japanese do it. I think is totally correct. The elephants see the same thing: protect the young, because that's the future of the species. Versus, I don't want to die. I understand. I don't want to die either, right? But would I rather die protecting my child or watch my child die to protect my ass?
Oh well, nowadays everything's backwards, selfishness.
No way. I will go to prison for the rest of my life. I'll try not to, but because that's just the same thing as missing my daughter, or my daughter not having me.
Yeah.
But no.
At least you give you a chance to survive and live a life.
But yeah, if it comes to an actual fight for our life, I'll do anything. Like I said, I will die before I let someone kill my child.
Yeah.
And what am I passing on if not my lineage, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying there's nothing else to pass on, but if I have my own DNA to pass on, that sounds more important to me than the study I did. You know what I mean? Or the repair I did, or how I saved the taxpayers this much money, or how I was a hero in this conflict.
Yeah.
That's great. That shit gets forgotten unless you are the greatest of the greatest in all time history. Like, what we got? Like Washington, Franklin, Lincoln. How many other American presidents can you think of that did something so amazing that they'll be remembered forever?
Trump.
Well, you can say Trump, but
Yeah,
that's too soon.
like all this shit he went through just to get
But
reelected.
even world history, how many names
Mm.
can you come up with someone who was truly great? Like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even go bad guys: Ho Chi Minh, Pol Pot, Adolf Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, what that's less than a dozen names that are going to be remembered forever. Versus their genes, everyone is related to Genghis Khan,
Somehow, yeah.
except for my wife. She got a DNA test done because she doesn't know her history past her parents.
Mm.
Turns out she's very, very no Slavic and Nazi, which I thought interesting. She's like, oh, that's a weird combination to have. Like, why would they get together? And I was like, it wasn't consensual. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, they're called Slavic. That's where the word slave comes from. The Nazis showed up. They weren't getting married. They were being raped.
Yeah.
Talk about language. If you got a library card or something like that, download Lee Child Hero book, and you're gonna learn a lot of good the definition, history of the words and stuff like that. Is actually good. It's a short read too. Audiobook is only like an hour and a half.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it was like I was learning a lot of stuff that like, oh shit, this is awesome, dude.
I can listen to it driving the Taco Bell.
Well,
yeah.
I just recently picked up my copy, re-picked up my copy of The Art of War, by Sun Tzu.
How's that working out for Chinese?
Oh, it's been translated.
No, but I'm saying like no, but I'm saying like the hello Sun Tzu. They feel before Genghis Khan, no?
Oh yeah, but Sun Tzu also had the most advanced weaponry on the planet at the time.
Yeah, but how come Chinese didn't use that for the art to fight the Mongolians?
Because they didn't know better. They still had elephants on the battlefield when the other nations had tanks.
Genghis Khan? You mean
no,
Alexander?
Not Genghis Khan, the Chinese.
No, I'm saying the Chinese had the elephants for the battlefield. How can they use against Genghis Khan? They were so scared.
Khan had elephants too. But anyway, Sun Tzu, The Art of War, I picked it up the other day and I was like, shit. Like, this is going to take me like 2 days of sitting down and reading.
Yeah.
Like, not 48 hours, but like 2 days of my time actually reading.
Yeah.
And if what you're saying is an hour and a half, I could do that in an afternoon, no problem, in my hammock in the sun. You know what I mean?
No, you're going to like it. Lee Child, Hero.
Send me a thing about it, dude. I'll definitely look into it.
Lee Child is the one that came out, the one that wrote the Jack Reacher series.
Oh, dude, I'm loving the TV show.
No, this book you're gonna tell you how he came out with the guy Reacher, and it's like wow, like okay.
I think that's it.
All right, if that's what, yeah, you're right. It's shit, dude. I even made it shorter than usual on purpose so this didn't happen. I gotta get better. I'm gonna have to cut this down by an entire page, I think, dude. It should be easy to trim, though. It should be easy to trim a lot of this auxiliary stuff that's the same topic but different story. You know what I mean? Or maybe just address him differently. But Brian, dear God, for the love of God, please pinch this turd off.
All right.
We could use a bidet.